Guys, I'm such a daredevil. Look where I'm starting this video. Such a daredevil. Actually, it's all Gomming. It's not me. Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Wormer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Genshin Impact. And today we're doing another story quest, and the last of the story quests. Oh my freaking god, look at it. Before we go to Natlan. Now, we're still not going to Natlan just yet. We still have some stuff that we have to do, but this is the last story quest we're going to be doing as well. I suppose we actually have to, like, activate it on the map as well. Where? Oh my, it's in Sumeru? Okay, I didn't expect it to be in Sumeru. We'll go to Sumeru. Not at all. Did not expect that whatsoever. This is Emilie. I guess we're going to see the pronunciation of her name anyway when we go forward with this. The team today that we're using is Princess Retinue. And this is, you know, we usually swap between Xingqiu with this team as well, which is pretty freaking good. I thought I'd try using Tighnari today, just like because even though she's not going to be very good and her moves aren't going to be very powerful, it might be just nice to have her on the field for a bit and have a Natlan character out with us for this playthrough, especially since, like, story quests, I feel like the battles and story quests aren't as, like, if we're doing a world quest or like an Archon quest, sometimes I feel like having a better team is good, but like story quests usually are kind of like somewhat breezier when it comes to combat. So I think it's okay to put a character who's only level 20 on our team for now. If it fails, it fails. We also have Benny and Fischl. I'm not saying anything about Gommon. Gommon's great as well, but Benny and Fischl have always been like two of my very powerful characters, so I don't think anything bad is going to happen, especially since Fischl can defeat a team herself. Let's check over here. I don't know why we're in Sumeru. I thought it would have been a Natlan situation, but not Natlan, sorry, Fontaine situation. I thought that was Xavier for a second. Man, the music here. Sumeru, man, what a place. This is the second time this week we're going back to Sumeru. Is that Tighnari? Wait, we're doing Tighnari's in this mission? Oh my god, what do you mean?
I thought I told him to spray it with water to retain
spray it with water
before applying the film.
I cannot believe we have Tighnari.
You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus. If Sanjay does this again, the loss will have to come out of his food expenses.
Looking at being a good boss here.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti for much
Oh, that's
longer.
bad.
Hey, Tighnari!
Oh my god. This is so cool.
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What brings you to Port Ormos?
You know what's funny? For me, it actually hasn't been. For you guys, like canonically, it has been a while. For you guys, it was probably a while. For me, it's been a few weeks.
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by.
They look so pretty.
What's with all the flowers around?
Is that a knackeweed as well they had there?
Well, Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition featuring flowers and plants from all over Teyvat. So I came to help out.
Very cool.
The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. With that in mind, the curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Okay. And like it's so like I think a flower event in anywhere, an exhibition, like it sounds so fun anyway, and it maybe will make the place so fresh.
Even so, an expert is still required to develop tailored transportation and care plans for each type of flower.
Okay.
Oh, and that expert is you, right?
Yeah, Tighnari.
Not this time.
No?
I'm just here to help out. The expert in charge is someone else.
Who's that?
Mr. Tighnari! Sanjay! He confused the poisonous bowls
Oh,
of garlic
no.
shoots, and he ate them!
No, why?
Never mind. Forget about what I said about the food expenses. Apologies, traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of.
So good to see you.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Go save a life. Go save a life, buddy.
Tighnari's busy no matter where he is.
Constantly. Yes, you're right, Paimon. All the time. Too many people are careless about what they eat. Too many people don't do as they're told. I think that's like both of these are quite true, I think. But I think even more like too many people don't do what they're told. And I think like, you know, I'm a big fan of like people going against a bit of authority sometimes, you know. But like I really also feel as though like you know, it's like I also feel like in this sense it's like it's dangerous, so you kind of have to do as you're told.
Yeah, seems like it.
You know?
Some people just need supervision.
Right, does that make sense? It's like, yes, like, you know, like authority sometimes bad, but sometimes it's dangerous. And just if someone tells you not to eat certain plants, don't do it. I think it makes sense.
Looks like Tighnari might be busy for a while. Let's take a look around the port in the meantime.
Cool. I mean, already Floral debt, blood. Okay. Okay, something bad is happening, isn't it? Something bad is going to be happening. I'll say this already. Like I think that having Gom in here is so nice as well because like it kind of fits the idea of like he's very into the idea of festivals and things like this. It's so cool seeing Tighnari as well. That's a good start.
Wow, look at these flowers. They smell so.
Oh, do you have a bit of hay fever? That's adorable. That's adorable.
Huh?
Wait, there she is. I believe. I think this is Emilie. Oh, you feeling okay? Oh, she's got hay fever for sure. Oh, look at her put her arm. Oh no. I don't even care she's not covering her face when she sneezes. She can do what she wants. She can do what she wants.
Roses,
No?
glaze lilies, and Cecilia's? No wonder.
I just didn't recognize the hair color for a second.
It's getting worse.
Oh, Paimon.
Why?
Oh, that's not good.
Oh,
Should we go find Tighnari? Yes, Tighnari would know.
but I was
Oh, the stuff you know.
a moment ago. She didn't even eat anything weird.
I am going to die. I am going to die. That is the most adorable thing in the world. I'm going to die. Oh, nice shoes.
If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Again, we never know what to expect from any of these, like, voice actors. Did you just push up your glasses? Cool animation. Poor Paimon. So this is a whole new, this is the first time we're meeting this character ever.
Oh, the scent is so nice.
Oh, you helped out.
Wait.
You can talk normally now.
Whoa, that was fast. Paimon doesn't have to sneeze anymore.
Must have been the incense. Thank you.
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either.
No?
Seeing as we're both travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help each other out should the occasion arise.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much for helping Paimon.
Oh, so you're here for the flower.
They're covering up her face.
Hmm.
Oh, there she is.
I suppose that's accurate. Ah, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emilie, a perfumer
This is Emilie.
from Confronting.
Your glasses are so stylish. So stylish. Like, so pretty. Like, if I was going to get glasses, they're the ones I definitely want as well.
Miss Paimon, thank you so much
Yep.
for your help just now. Oh, and this is.
Emilie, by the way, because you helped Paimon, you now have earned a lifetime of protection, and we are now in debt to you forever. I will never ever say anything bad about you ever in the history of the universe ever.
The Traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
I heard a lot about you as well. We did actually hear a bit about her, right? We did hear to do with like fashion and stuff, I believe it was. I could be wrong. It's again information overload sometimes.
Back there. Why did Paimon start sneezing all of a sudden?
Her shoes are gorgeous.
Have you ever heard of hay fever?
Hay fever. That's what I was saying it was. And the actual color, like the green kind of like, it's almost like does this make sense when I say it? Like, and it's not like an insult. It's almost like dark forest green, right? With the color of the dress. It's actually a stylish dress. I don't know. Like at least the bottom part of it as well with the different colors. Because it has kind of like a very like Nihida Dendro type color at the bottom. But then you have like as I said, like the dark forest, the magical dark forest green of the other aspect of it as well. I think so, but I don't know much about
To
it.
put it simply, when inhaled, certain pollens can trigger abnormal physical reactions.
But Paimon has seen these kinds of flowers before and nothing weird happened then.
Is it all of them mixed together, maybe?
Well, we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, the effects of certain pollens may seem minimal, but inhaling various types at once can trigger a more overt reaction. But there's no need to worry. Pollen allergies can be effectively mitigated with the use of medication.
She's being so informative, so nice right now.
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon.
Hi, Tighnari.
There you are. Is everything all right?
He heard Paimon sneezing all the way over there.
I left
He
in
was
such
like,
a hurry. I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Paimon is not having a good time, but Emilie helped us out.
Emilie? Ah, what a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then. The Traveler and Paimon are in good hands.
Great endorsement. That's how you endorse a character. You know, you have a character who's like very reputable and capable. Talk about another character as if they're reputable and capable. Just good writing.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival, and I offered them a bit of help, that's all.
No, she was so helpful with her stylish glasses. Like, honestly, like...
I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergies are highly unpredictable. If you were concerned the pollen might trigger a reaction, that must mean something similar has happened in the past.
Something like that, yeah.
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
Right. But Paimon was the victim this time. Oh, like, so that's what they're comparing her to. Look at Collei, by the way.
The spirit
My God.
didn't affect Paimon at all, and now she's the one suffering. It makes no sense.
It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different factors. Some people are even allergic to almonds. It's not something you can generalize.
That's interesting. He said almonds, and in Ireland, for example, a lot of people would say almonds. Where like I feel like around the world people also say almonds. You know, they pronounce the L, and in some places they don't pronounce the L. So it's interesting that he chose to not pronounce the L. I know like it's such a small thing, but like I think it's interesting. Maybe it's like as well like a choice.
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Fontaine where someone had an allergic reaction to soba noodles their family brought back from Inazuma.
Oh wow.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic to anything delicious.
Yeah, very lucky. Are you a doctor, Emilie?
In a manner of speaking, although you could say the patients I deal with are rather unusual.
In addition to medicine, Emilie is also very knowledgeable about botany.
So flowers
She's
and
taught
stuff.
me a lot about the native flora around Fontaine.
I don't know. There's something like maybe just because I was like a bit of like I really love the Batman Arkham series growing up. Like there's something that's so cool about like any like character who's like super into botany, right? It almost makes them like I know it's like very silly because they're just taking the poison ivy, but like it makes them like a million times cooler in my eyes. I don't know.
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge, Tighnari certainly comes out on top.
Well, Tighnari is extremely smart.
A flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got it! You must be the expert Tighnari mentioned, the one in charge of the exhibition!
Wrong again, I'm
No?
afraid.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only to inquire about the Auguste variety. I'm not involved in any official capacity.
Oh, Paimon was sure she got it right this time.
The Auguste variety, what's that?
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine. The perfume made from it also bears the same name, Auguste.
Auguste, huh?
Auguste.
That's not a name you hear often nowadays.
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred or noble. It's sometimes used as a name for people as well. Ah, that reminds me. Are you familiar with a historical event in Fontaine known as Perfume Mania?
Perfume Mania? Not really. What the hell's that?
Perfume Mania was an event that occurred in Fontaine nearly 20 years ago.
Look at Sumeru. Absolutely gorgeous. You see the mausoleum in the background?
It all started when several
my
merchants
God.
released their own lines of high-end, expensive perfumes, marketing them as must-have luxury products, the very symbol of elegance itself. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket.
They look so angry.
The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. You could take advantage of the soaring price by hoarding them and reselling at even higher margins.
Oh, very sucky.
The value of these products became so inflated, regular bottles of perfume were
That
even
sucks.
going for hundreds of thousands of mora. This resulted in countless disputes and
I know it's like a luxury item, it's like, you know, but actually, you know, like it's not like they have like, you know, Dove spray on deodorant back then. Like perfume was probably one of the best ways that like, you know, you could like make sure you smell like a little bit fresh, I suppose. So like I guess like it is kind of different, you know, if you compare to nowadays. It's like, oh well, you don't have to buy that expensive perfume. But I think at the time, like they were just trying to buy a basic perfume for themselves to make themselves probably feel better about themselves. Which is, it doesn't matter if it's necessary or not. I want to make that clear. Everyone deserves to like feel good about themselves, even if it is like through a perfume bottle, you know.
But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the intrinsic worth of the product, creating an economic bubble that was never going to
Okay,
last.
so there you go. So it was because as she's saying, it's just like it's okay. That's fine.
Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers were thrown in jail as a result.
I think it's still illegal, right? Like it's still illegal to like buy a bunch of products and sell them at like. Well, I don't know if it's illegal, but I know like during the COVID times, I remember like a lot of people were getting their like hand sanitizer seized because they were like buying hand sanitizer for Jesus, it was like maybe $2 and they were selling it for like 15. And I remember like a bunch of hand sanitizers being seized. I don't know if that was a true story or not, but like it's just what I remember. Maybe it's just a false memory. I had a dream about hand sanitizer being seized. What you dream about, Calvin? Oh, the police, they got the hand sanitizer.
In the end,
they got it.
Only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
That's good. It really could have been a lot worse.
What does all this have to do with that Auguste you mentioned earlier?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million more a bottle.
Jesus.
10 million?
Yeah.
Then what about now?
Yeah, okay, yeah, Paimon. We could never even afford that if we tried. We're leveling up characters every day.
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was the only exception.
It's that fancy.
Its namesake, the flower used to create it, went extinct. As a result, no new bottles of Auguste have been made, and the value of the perfume remains exceedingly high.
And that makes sense. Like it's so whatever like is left around, that's like what's left of it. Like, but a flower going extinct is very sad.
Indeed.
It's very sad.
The Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated for use in perfume making. When the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never been seen since.
Wait, but that seems like, I don't know. I understand maybe why they did it, but like that seems like very like, I don't know, like it shouldn't be allowed. You know what I mean? Like the flowers did nothing. I'm not saying that like flowers like are thinking beings. I'm saying just like a flower going extinct is very upsetting.
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition to look for it?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower has reappeared in Sumeru. It's causing quite the stir in the Fontaine perfume market.
Traveler, we should help Emilie look for
Yeah, I'm totally up for it. There's no way to use fine. Yeah, no, it's just a room Paimon, but I'm kind of agree with Paimon. I would love to try and look for it at the very least.
Agree. Emilie wrote me to ask if I could look into the rumor, but the forest rangers haven't received any reports of new plant species recently.
Okay.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed, Paimon. I don't have any.
Oh, that's what
plan
Paimon
on
wants
making
to-
endeavors planned.
Okay, yeah. Oh. Yeah, but like I think it would just be good to like maybe cultivate some more of the flowers.
Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments to be sure, but to me, they overshadow the very essence of the product. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige and focus on the beauty of the fragrance itself.
Wow, so noble.
Honestly, like I love when people are appreciative of like art forms that aren't considered art forms usually, whether it be perfume or makeup or any like hair, like things like that a lot of people I think like won't consider art, but I think they are. Like I think like the creation of something. Yes, you can see it as science more than that anything, but like how is like creating a different smell that smells amazing and makes someone feel a certain way. How is that not like, to me it's considered like a very beautiful art form. Because it's the same thing as drawing something and making someone feel a certain way,
Of course, there's also a more practical reason. In recent years, low-grade counterfeit versions of Auguste have been popping up on the Fontaine perfume market. Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own work.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's more like the reason Paimon had in mind.
Yeah, it's not good though. It's not good, isn't it?
Ever since that rumor
Especially if it
started,
dragged your name through it.
3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Auguste flower have appeared on the market. If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Auguste, even just by proving the rumor to be false, Fontaine's perfume market can finally start to get back to normal.
I think that makes sense. It's the idea that like even if it's like it doesn't have to, like she doesn't have to like make it she doesn't have to make money off it. It's about just like, you know, bringing the name back to its proper form, I suppose.
Then I'll be free from all the stories and added meaning and just focus on making what I like.
It's kind of cool, just like getting this stuff off your mind, right? And the best way to do it is just to face it head on.
That makes sense.
Either way, even if it's not for more, we can still help you out. Yeah.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for
I'm
your
sold
help,
for it.
but I wouldn't want to trouble you.
Well, you said it yourself. We're both travelers from abroad, so it's only right that we help each other
Yeah, I
out.
agree. That's a great way of Paimon bringing back the what she said.
I suppose you're right. Then you have my thanks.
Based on the information I have so far,
I love
it's
Tighnari's voice so
unclear
much.
if the rumor is true. Mr. Edgar also thinks it's too early to say, but you could always go talk to him. He was there all those years ago, after all. Maybe he'll know something.
Huh, I was just about to pay him a visit at the hotel.
Edgar? Who's that?
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time.
That's the flower expert.
The
Okay.
flower expert in charge of the exhibition. He's also the most respected and experienced perfumer in the area.
Nice.
Back when he was still working in Fontaine, Auguste was his creation.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one who taught me the basics of perfumery when I apprenticed in Sumeru.
All right. Okay.
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to teach people from Fontaine? It sounds confusing.
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
I love her voice. It's actually I don't know what it is. It's almost like it's like how would you even do that voice? How kind of like you kind of like talk, maybe it's just a natural voice, but you kind of talk like this, and you kind of like speak through like your I know even how you do it. It's really nice. It's really nice. Tighnari and
I
flowers.
need to stay back and keep an eye on things here at the port. If something happens, don't hesitate to find me.
I know. Yeah, no, really cool. Really cool. Yeah, the introduction to a new character, Emilie. I think that her, like, you know, the first thing we knew, like, I saw was, like, the striking details. Like, her glasses are so pretty, and, like, the shoes she have are gorgeous as well. But, like, she's actually a very interesting character. And not just, like, this character, like, she's nice, but I think it's also, like, a case of, like, a character who's, like, very easy to talk to. It's very easy to listen to her as well. It's nice to listen to her. Stylish as well. And someone who's into like anything that's passionate about anything like that, I'm always like very drawn to them as well. Before we go any further, do we have we have a lot of those things, but I think we have 2 of these. I was just thinking about this now, we should use them. What? It's a constellation. It's a weapon. Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? Aquila Favonia. Oh, that's a pretty cool sword. That's a really cool sword. I was like about to have a heart attack. I'm actually kind of like half happy that it wasn't like some character. I was like, what are you talking about? Let's take a look at Aquila Favonia, actually. Is that something that maybe like we can give to wrong thing there. Weapons. No, we probably have to look at through Jean's eyes. Weapon. Aquila Favonia. Attack is increased by 20%. Triggers. Oh, wait. So this is for someone who like does like a lot of physical damage. So we want maybe someone who's doing DPS, maybe? Oh, what about... Would that be good for... No, because no, he's at... No, that wouldn't be good for him. Let's see. Who uses a sword on my team that would need something like that? No, but energy recharge is like I like it as well. So someone that would need physical damage bonus. Yes. Maybe actually. Attack is increased by 20%. Triggers on taking damage. The soul of the falcon of the west awakens, holding the banner of resistance aloft for generating HP equal to 100% out of attack and dealing 200% of the attack damage to surrounding opponents. It's like okay. She looks really cool with it as well. So maybe Kaching. Look at her. Look at her. Let's see. A lot of maybe. No. That's all my characters who are leveled for now. Is there any Natlan characters who might benefit from it, would you believe? Like, maybe like... Not here anyway. Interesting. Okay, no, that's good. That's good. We have a... I'm thinking maybe Kaching we could give that sword to. We'll see. Ah! I was like, where's the bottom out here? When I saw that gold, I was like, what is happening? That's crazy.
Oh, look at all the flowers!
I love how Paimon's excited about this again.
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding buildings. They're being used as temporary storage facilities and lodging for exhibition personnel.
Okay, seems a bit excessive, but I guess if it's an important event.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay.
True,
Renting
actually.
out this big of a hotel? How are they gonna make that more of that?
Seems like they might have more to burn.
It's been so long, I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother haven't changed a bit.
Oh, yeah, look, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business. We need to talk about Kirya. Is he...
Hold on, we have guests.
Don't talk about Kirya. I'll hear about it. I can listen in.
It's nice to see
I can keep
you
a
again,
secret.
Master.
Emilie? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look at you. You're all grown up.
Oh, so you knew her when she was younger?
I've heard you've become quite the famous perfumer in Fontaine. It would seem the student has surpassed the master.
Oh, great.
Oh, well, it's all thanks to your mentorship.
Ah, hardly. I taught you the basics. Hearing you call me master, well, I'm not sure I'm deserving of that title.
Take the compliments. Take the title.
I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years, but I've yet to see one turn out quite as accomplished as you.
That's good
You're
pride.
the only one who can take credit for that success. And who are these two? I don't recall you mentioning them in your letter.
Ah, they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Thank you for considering us a friend so fast, but then again, this is Genshin, and we love making new friends. We turn around, we make a new friend, and it's amazing. Pleasure to meet you.
Emilie's friends. Well then, the pleasure is all mine.
And these two gentlemen? Are they friends of yours, Master?
What are you humping? What's the hump from?
Of course, we're perfume merchants from Fontaine. I'm Oud, and this here is my younger brother, Blaze. Edgar and the two of us are old friends. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
yes.
But this guy was like humping. He was like,
Merchant brothers?
You must be here to look for the Auguste flower then.
Huh?
Don't say it. Wait.
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of Auguste? Anyone in the business would be interested
Man.
in the rumors.
Your nervous laugh is making me nervous.
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emilie. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well join in. I commissioned a few eremites to do some scouting for me. They searched all over Sumeru, but there were no sightings of the Auguste flower.
Right, okay.
That being said, there are people in Port Ormos who claim to have smelled a unique fragrance on the streets. Definitely floral, but still distinct.
Look at that, man. It still amazes me looking at Port Ormos, even from this perspective.
Some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years ago. According to them, the fragrance smelled exactly like the Auguste they remember from back then. A one-of-a-kind, divine, and noble scent.
Maybe someone around here just happens to have a bottle of Auguste from back then.
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, the fragrance of the perfume would have changed over time. Very few perfumes can go decades without a change in scent.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shift. Only a few bottles still exist in Fontaine, and their scent would have completely degraded by now.
It's so cool seeing all the knowledge he has
Could
about
there
this
be a
stuff.
flower out there with a similar fragrance? or in accord with the same bass notes.
Impossible. If Auguste were that easy to replicate, it would never have sold for such a high price all those years ago. The Auguste flower is back. It has to be.
Yeah, dude, the tone, you could calm down a bit. You went from humping to, like, you know, just being a bit, like, you know, a bit rude. You know, the tone, just like, you know, this is my new friend.
Technically speaking, the scent wouldn't be impossible to imitate.
Well, let's table that question for now. Edgar, did any of those people mention where the scent was coming from?
No. By the time they realized they had smelled something, the scent was already gone. If I hadn't asked about it, they probably wouldn't have given the experience a second thought. Compared to things we see and hear, smells can be much easier to overlook.
It's harder to ascertain a scent without looking directly at where the scent is coming from, I suppose.
It almost sounds like someone wearing the Auguste fragrance passed them on the street.
Wait, are you saying...
Just thinking out loud. Don't pay me any mind.
Both these guys make me feel nervous as heck. Both of these guys.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out that possibility. I'll send some more people to investigate. You all traveled so far to be here. Why don't you rest in the hotel for a bit? Oud, Blaze, this is the key to your room.
Ooh, you've got the keys to the rooms? Do we get free lodging too?
My apologies. All the rooms in the hotel are accounted for, I'm afraid. Most are being used for storage ahead of the exhibition, you see.
Looks like you're gonna have to kick out a bunch of flowers in there. Come on out. Oh, look, it's a tulip. Now it's a gone lip. Gone. Psh. No, we're not gonna do that. We would never do that.
I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the last minute. But by the time Emilie wrote to me, there was no more space left for her to stay.
Sure, they can... Our two new pals here can stay in the streets. No, I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking. I am joking. I don't want them to give up the room for me at all, okay? Our two new pals here can, like, you know, maybe find lodging. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue. Guess that means there's definitely no space for us.
Yeah, but we always find a place to stay. We're always very good at that.
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an entire hotel at my disposal and no place to offer you to stay, even after you made the trip all the way to Sumeru.
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight, or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plant specimens while I'm here in Sumeru.
I'm familiar with the Sumeru wilderness. I'll come with. I'd love to.
Huh, even
It'd be so fun. I love how interested in these flowers you are, and it makes me more interested too because I love hearing about other people's interests.
Although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to take it camping. It shouldn't take up too much space.
Well,
Okay, what's happening now? There's something up. It's yeah, there's something up. It seems like Edgar and the others don't want anyone to stay near the hotel, but they're also trying to not arouse suspicion. I'm not just imagining things, am I? No, trust your gut. The amount of people you've seen who've been suspicious over your entire journey, Ether. I can see you shaking your head.
Of course, no trouble at all. My brother and I will keep an eye on them for you, as long as you don't mind, mademoiselle.
All right, then. Oud, why don't you take Emilie inside and find a suitable place for her luggage? I'll prepare some refreshments and join you in a bit.
This is, yeah, they're a bit suspicious, aren't they? They definitely are a bit suspicious. I don't know, I'm quite... They make me nervous, both in two different ways. One of them is, like, too serious, and the other one is, like, too nervous with their laughter. There's something definitely there. Oh my god, you can see, like, the pollen in the air, right?
The smell of flowers is so strong.
Yeah.
Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? There's still so many flowers. Hyman took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like this exhibition is gonna be huge.
Do all perfumers have their house filled with flowers?
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants, But to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
Okay.
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
What's behind this door? Okay, let's see the reaction of these guys because we're asking what's behind someone's door.
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite, and my brother will be staying on the other side of the suite.
Maybe they're not actually going to be suspicious about it?
Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage over as well?
Oh my god, the two suspicious brothers over here.
Yes, of course.
If acting suspicious was your job, you'd be millionaires.
All right then, where can we find your luggage, mademoiselle? Blaze will go fetch it for you.
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine.
Oh my god, I love the voice acting so much. I really do.
Could I trouble you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect way to repay you for your hospitality.
How generous. I should thank you on my brother's behalf. You stumbled upon his weakness. He's aloof about most things, but alcohol is his one true love.
Is that so?
Amber wine, and that's a Fontaine specialty I've never heard of before.
Mr. Oud, Mr. Blaze, thanks.
So we're saying that it's not... Wait, what are we saying it's not a natural specialty?
What are you doing?
What? What is happening?
Master's voice.
Quick, let's go see what's going on. What? Sure? Did he just got attacked? As your shall tell, you detect a unique fragrance come from outside, not it. Wait,
Edgar!
is that a bottle of perfume on the ground?
Master!
Hey, Edgar. Are you all right? Can you hear me?
Who did this?
Kirya. Auguste.
Kirya? Oh, he's gone. He's not dead, he's just collapsed, but...
Edgar? Edgar!
Or is he?
No, don't shake him.
Okay,
He's injured.
okay.
Just leave him to me. You two can...
We'll investigate the scene.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, that music. Isn't that the cork music? So we're actually investigating the scene? Oh my god, check the bottle.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle?
It's like a perfume bottle or something, isn't it? Only a small amount of liquid is left inside the bottle, and the streaks of residue can be seen on both the mouth and the sides of the vessel. It seems like someone forcibly poured it out, whatever was inside the bottle. So that's the scent we could probably hear. I have a feeling this liquid in the bottle is...
Really? You think so?
Auguste? There's something over here.
Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before they attacked
I mean,
Edgar?
the flowers in Sumeru, they're actually like very easy to hide in just because like look how thick they are. There's so many like trees everywhere. There are no footprints of the flower, and it doesn't look like any of the branches or leaves have been disturbed. Unless the culprit was your size, that would be pretty difficult.
True.
There we go. Because you can imagine, like, already, like, you know, even though, like, you can see me here, and actually most Genshin characters have bright colors, so maybe it actually would be very difficult to hide in the bushes. I'd notice Goblin from a mile away. I guess we're going to talk to you guys as well.
I checked. It doesn't look like anyone passed through here.
Oh, but that's impossible. It's not like that kid can just grow some wings and fly away.
That kid?
Oh, the culprit, I mean.
No, you just said that
It's
kid.
not like the culprit could have just disappeared into thin air.
You just said that kid. Jesus, these guys' full-time occupation is being suspicious. It really is.
Well, we looked all over, but the only clue we found was that bottle.
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master. Can you help me move him inside?
Yeah, sure. No problem. You and Emilie carefully move Edgar inside.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain liquid.
Wait, from that bottle?
He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into other clues for now.
We found this bottle just now.
Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition is still unclear. We'll have to do further tests to determine if it's the same liquid and how toxic it is to the human body. But first, I do believe there are 2 people who could shed some light on the situation. Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien.
They know something, and thank you so much, Emily, for noticing this too. You know something.
Hey. Were you talking to us,
Wait.
mademoiselle? I'm afraid we'd never...
Oh, she used different names. Because they're so new to us. I was just like, Mr. Sylvain, I thought they were like last names. No, these are like different. Okay. Oh my God, Emily. Oh my God, she figured something out. Like just as we did as well. We didn't know about their different names, but like, she's like way ahead of this.
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste.
No.
There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and 3 others.
Is this the counterfeit Auguste?
A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower, and 2 merchant brothers responsible for promoting the product on the market. The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. Their actions lured in numerous speculators and profiteers, inflating the price of Auguste even further.
Oh my God, she knows everything. She's looked into all of this.
In the end, they were sent to the fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and destabilizing the market. If you do the math, they should be out of prison by now.
And she's like, that's you.
And what does that have to do with
She's like,
us?
that's you.
There are countless merchant families in Fontaine. You gonna accuse them of being criminals too?
Buddy. The only way you could have been more suspicious is if you like literally like drew like shifty eyes onto your eyelids.
Every time your brother called you Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond.
Oh my
When I called
God.
you Lucien just now, the name registered immediately.
So good. Because remember, like, I thought he was just like in like lost in thought, but like literally he did not answer him the first time. Oh buddy, Emily, oh my God.
Oh, Miss Emily, out of respect for your
Don't
position
start.
as a famous perfumer in Fontaine, I'm inclined to believe that was simply a poor attempt at humor.
Where's the nervous laughter? I thought you were such like a happy, chuckly guy. What happened?
You have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation as someone who throws around
Oh,
false
God.
accusations, especially among merchant circles.
You don't understand. We will already fight for Emily. We will already fight for her. She's already helped us already and helped Paimon. So that means like we will defend her.
You claim to be regular perfume merchants, and yet, when I brought up amber wine, you took it to be alcohol.
That's why Ether didn't know about it.
What?
So cool. Yeah, that's why Ether was like, oh, that doesn't sound like anything I know. I've been in Fontaine for months or for a year.
Amber wine is
maybe
a
even.
perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any respectable perfume merchant in Fontaine would know of it.
Oh my God. We need like a spin-off game, Inspector Emily. Honestly.
Unless, until recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world. Somewhere like the Fortress of Meripede, perhaps?
So good. So good.
Emily, you little.
Emily, you little. Don't even think about it, buddy. Oh my God. And she's just smiling. She's like, yeah, look at my new friends. That's so sick. And Paimon's, of course, like a little bit scared because this is like a scary situation. But look at how quickly Wander went to protect her.
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you. No matter what happened all those years ago, the court has already passed its judgment. But Master's life is in danger. We need to learn whatever we can about the person who has done this. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, I would imagine the 2 of you might also be in danger.
I already think this is so fun, right? Like I know, like it's like an attack has happened and all this stuff. It's like, oh, this is so fun. Like there's already like a really cool like almost like a like, and I mean this in the best way possible, like an old style like detective Sherlock vibes, or maybe even like an Ace Attorney Chronicles energy to it. Like it really does feel like very like that. It's very fun.
So I'd like to trouble you for some information, if I may. Tell me about Kirya.
Fine, as you
You got done.
wish.
Sylvain,
Lucian, if this will help us find Kirya, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told most of the stuff to the Maison Orally anyway. You were right, Miss Emilie. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucian, Edgar, and the researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation, Vijava.
Vijava, okay. Another new name.
Sometime down the road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking, saddled us with a list of accusations, and started looking into our books. Oh, they did their meddling, and my brother Edgar and I were forced to serve time in the fortress.
Okay, so you got exposed.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him.
Okay.
Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft instead.
It sounds like Emilie really has taken, that to heart. It's like, hey, you served your time. It's like whatever. Like, not whatever, but it's like, hey, look, like it's done.
That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, so I had the chance to study under him for a little while. But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
Yeah.
Like us, Vijava was also staring down an investigation from the Marechaussee Phantom. But before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on fire, along with much of the mora we managed to earn. All the Auguste flowers, everything we worked to create, was reduced to nothing but a pile of ash.
Is that to just get rid of the evidence so did she not go to prison?
But destroying all that evidence, wouldn't that make things worse for her?
It didn't matter at that point, because she died in the fire as well.
Oh, okay, that's bad. That is bad.
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why even ask us if you knew all of this already?
So far, Kirya's name still hasn't come up. Exactly, yeah.
The name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either. But you two seem quite familiar with him.
Yeah. Come on, guys, come on. Like, Emilie's being more than fair with you guys. Like, she's not being mean, she's not being
Kirya
awful.
was Vijava's younger brother.
Okay.
He was just a clueless kid back then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have any idea what we were doing. Vijava kept him close most of the time. The 3 of us were probably the only ones who even knew she had a brother. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs of him until recently, when people started saying the Auguste flower had reappeared in Sumeru.
Right, okay. So that's when you got the scent of him coming back.
So you think Kirya took something with him back then? Something that allowed him to reproduce the Auguste flower?
Vijava doted on the kid like you wouldn't believe. She even told us to give her cut to her brother if anything happened to her. If she left something behind before she died, believe me, Kirya's the one that has it.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate the perfume itself.
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste. Wait, does that mean Auguste is
Or
poison?
can it be poison?
Poison? No. Of course not.
Yeah.
No perfume is meant to be ingested.
That makes sense.
Even small
Yeah.
amounts can be dangerous, let alone ingesting a whole bottle at
Yeah,
once.
it's like yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's like, they make like non-toxic, Play-Doh nowadays, right? But like it's still not recommended to eat a bunch of Play-Doh.
If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kirya forced him to drink.
Which is crazy.
perfume. It just happened to be
Can you imagine that's adding insult to injury of like whatever they feel about like these guys? Imagine coming up to someone and forcing them to drink a bottle of perfume. Strange. Sylvain seems nervous all of a sudden. Why did Kirya attack Edgar?
He probably thought we had something to do with his sister's death. But to tell you the truth, I have no idea why she did.
Well, I hope you are telling the truth. I really do.
We're not looking for Kirya because we have it out for him. We just wanted to see how he was doing. And, if possible, work together to bring back Auguste.
But it seems like there are hard feelings from his side, so...
We only went to prison for a bit of fraud and market manipulation. It had nothing to do with the product itself.
You got some arms folded looking at you guys.
As long as we keep things honest this time around, bringing the product back to market would almost be like honoring his sister's
I don't
memory.
like the way they're phrasing this, right? I don't like it at all.
So that's why you never mentioned Kirya during your interrogation?
Yes, exactly. We were just looking out for the kid.
If that's true, then that's... I don't know. It's just like why does Kirya have like a problem with them then?
Anyway,
Like I know
that's
they
all
said
we
that
know. If you're looking for information on what's in Auguste or what to do if you ingest it, there are only two people to ask: Edgar or Kirya himself.
like I know that they said that it's because they think that they have something to do with the fire, but why does he think that?
Well, at least we're able to say for certain that the substance Edgar ingested was in fact Auguste. That gives us a direction for further testing. Well then, I'd say that was a very enlightening discussion.
There's a lot.
Well, glad to hear it. Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit. With everything that's happened, there are things that need reconsidering.
Man, you sound so shady all the time.
Yes, of course.
How do you feel about those guys, Emilie? They're still hiding something. I agree. Big
I
time.
think so too. That does seem to be the case. Pity we don't have more evidence. But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now, I suspect further questioning will only result in more made-up answers.
The way you exposed them like that, just based on a hunch, that was genius.
Are you really just a perfumer who looks after people in your spare time? I think that she is a investigative genius. The way she was acting there was so great.
Oh, right. Earlier you said you were only sort of a doctor, and that your patients were unusual.
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter are already dead.
In what way?
So you're a forensic doctor?
Oh my god, so she is like, oh, okay. So she, maybe.
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marochisei Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave on the world.
That's such an interesting, like profession for someone to have. Like, I don't think, like, I didn't expect that anyone to have that. Like, you don't even think about that profession sometimes, right? Because someone has to clean up the, all the stuff that happens afterwards.
In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a cleaning agent. Basically, there are two sides to forensics. Those who collect evidence to expose the truth, and those who clean up the smells, bloodstains, and other substances left behind at the scene. I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back to Tighnari
Oh, yeah, no problem.
and the officers
No problem.
at Port Ormos? We should update them on the situation.
Yeah, it's interesting that she says, like, I've witnessed a lot of death, I've witnessed a lot of this stuff as well. Because I do feel like, even though, like, it's not directly a forensic doctor who cleans up afterwards, like, it is still, like, you know, you will notice a lot of things about, like, a crime scene. You will get to know a lot of crime scenes. You get to, like, understand them quite a bit as well. So it makes sense that she was so good at, like, exposing some stuff there also.
I'll stay here and continue to look after Master. Now that we have a sample of Auguste, I'm hoping further analysis won't be too difficult.
Very cool. Like a really, like, again, I know it's like quite dark, like someone just got attacked and got ingested perfume, but it's like a really like interesting quest so far, and like very, look at this lighting, by the way, it's so pretty. Yeah, it is. It's very, very cool.
Master looks a lot older than when I last saw him. I just hope he can hold on.
Let's hope. So what we have here is there's some suspicion going on with the character Vijava, whose little brother seemed to have made Edgar ingest a bunch of perfume because he probably believes that they had something to do with the death of his sister. The character Emilie that we met, who like already I'm like a big fan of, to be honest. Like I enjoyed their company quite a bit. They seem to be they are like a forensic cleaner, and they are someone who cleans up crime scenes, and as I said, their patients are people who are already passed away in that sense. But they're also like very good at like ascertaining people's I guess emotions, or at least like investigating stuff. Like she had an idea of what was happening before not even before I did. We always thought there's something suspicious, but she had like a full idea, and she was trying to like get like under their skin or like trick them into like making mistakes very early on as well. It's also very interesting having the idea of like a counterfeit like item that people are trying to like recreate, and that's why they went to the Fortress of Meripede for. And I do think it's also a very cool character trait of Emilie that like she's like, yes, I'm like 100% on the side of like justice, but it's also a thing where like she just wants the name of the perfume to not be dragged through the mud, and she also like doesn't really care that they went to prison. She's just like, hey, like I'm ready. So it's like, hey, like you went to prison for fraud, you did your freaking time in the fortress, you like had your rehabilitation, or we thought, because they're still very suspicious. And we have to see where that goes. Look at that boat, it's so pretty. Let's check on Tighnari, the lovely, lovely Tighnari.
Why the rush? Did something happen?
Explain everything. He's like, I left you go for 2 minutes.
What? Edgar was attacked?
Yep.
He's the most famous
he's the sheriff.
perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless people around Port Ormos. How could this happen?
Yeah, and I'm assuming we explained everything about the little brother and everything.
Have you received any reports of a suspicious individual fleeing through the bazaar?
Tighnari always thinking on his feet?
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'm sure someone's seen Kirya. I'll start gathering my forces. We won't let him get away.
What about you, Tighnari? Do you have a plan?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and I doubt Emilie needs my help looking after Mr. Edgar.
But she said she's not a real doctor.
Then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding of human anatomy and pharmacology than most scholars from the Amorta Darshan.
Wow. That is literally high praise as heck.
The fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is related to perfume. Emilie is certainly in the best position to help him.
There you go. Knowing the composition of perfume as well. Yeah, very, very high praise from Tighnari.
As for me, I'll head to the academia and see what I can learn about Vijava and Kirya.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's right. Vijava was supposed to be a scholar from Sumeru. Do you recognize the name?
From Emilie's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. The academia produces a lot of scholars, and there are plenty of graduates who choose to pursue a career outside their darshan. I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like Vijava's past could be critical to getting to the bottom of what happened to Mr. Edgar.
Tighnari, I love listening to Tighnari so much, even if it's about like this like very dark stuff,
I have friends in Sumeru City that can help me investigate. With any luck, we'll have news to share by tomorrow.
Great. No, Tighnari, you're the best. You're the best.
I'll leave you and Emilie to watch over things here in Port Ormos.
Like, I love when they bring back... They've been doing it, like, so much. Like, they already, like, would do it, like, occasionally. Like, bring back another character, so 7 a.m. the next day. They would bring back another character, but, like, they've been doing it, like, even more and more with every mission that goes by. And some missions obviously have, like, a full, like Shanyun's story quest, for example... was like, the Liyue Avengers, basically, in some way. Not every Liyue character was there, but like, it had a lot of them in that mission as well.
Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tighnari's discovered anything.
But I've said this since the start.
Things weren't looking good with Emilie's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first.
Which I guess Tighnari and the hotel is what we're doing. But yeah, I said this from the very start of this game, and I stand by it completely because they keep like proving it to be true, is that they really do make this game feel so real with the way they do things like that. I've used the same example since the start, and it's literally just like, they don't forget about the characters that would make sense to have characters in certain situations show up again. They don't do this thing where it's like the characters are there for one mission and they're gone. I know some characters haven't shown up again. I know some characters won't show up again. But like when characters make sense to show up, they like seem to always show up. Like it's so cool having Tighnari here. And I wouldn't be surprised if like the writers here were like, okay, we have a character like Emilie, who would be very good to have, you know, help investigate along with this stuff here. Oh, Tighnari, someone who like is very in tune with nature, who knows all this stuff as well, who could also like improve like our perception of Emilie's character very instantly because we trust Tighnari as well. Like just good writing. It's just really good writing, really good introductions of characters.
Emilie!
Oh, she said Emilie as well.
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. He's still very weak, but with a bit more rest, he should regain consciousness soon.
Fantastic.
My chemical analysis of Auguste also went smoothly, although it certainly raised some questions.
Questions?
I was able to identify the components that give the substance its fragrance, but I also noticed an abnormal trace of elemental energy in the sample.
Elemental energy?
Yeah, would that have an effect on the body? So someone added this to it as well?
Hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking, like mixing a single drop of perfume into the ocean. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent years to even detect the traces present in the sample. Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have any effect, even if you use the product every day for 10 years.
Right, but look at all the, like, this is what Tighnari was saying, like, the knowledge that Emilie has.
As for whether Master's condition was caused by the elemental energy present in the sample or some other component of the perfume, it's still too early to say.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. Did Tighnari come and find you? Maybe we could ask him to take a look.
I received a message from him last night, but I haven't heard anything since. The message said he was looking into some information at the academia.
So he hasn't gone back to you, okay. Yeah, it's interesting, the idea of, like, adding, like, elemental energy to something, and the idea that, like, it's, like she was saying here, the, like how it could, like, she doesn't know if it's caused by, like, the elemental energy itself, like, but that has to have something to do with it, right? They wouldn't just bring this up, right? They wouldn't.
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped by to see you first. Excuse me? Is Miss Emilie here?
Oh my frickin'. Oh my god, my gal, Collei. It's so good to see you.
Oh, perfect.
Are you kidding me?
Familiar faces. Traveler, Paimon, you're here
Oh
too.
my god, Collei. Okay, I know there's a big crime happening. We should hang out for the rest of the day as well. Oh my god. It's so good to see you.
Collei. Oh, of course. Tighnari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
She is the best. Emilie, you need to understand how cool Collei is, right? Collei is so tough, so strong. One of the best stories. She's like, stories? This is me talking to, like, you guys as well. One of the best stories in the, if you count the manga and the game as well, one of the best stories of all time. Just an impressive character all around. We love her to bits.
And please, no need for formalities. Emilie is just fine.
Emilie's just fine, Collei.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too, Miss,
Oh.
Emilie.
She's such a sweetheart.
Did Tighnari send you here, Collei? Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records.
Decades.
And still haven't had a chance to rest. I'm fast at my feet, so it only made sense for me to come and give you
Oh
an
my
update.
god, she's doing such a good job.
Anyway,
And she loves getting out of
based on what they
the
reviewed
forest
so
as
far,
well.
They believe there's no indication that a researcher by the name of Vijava ever passed through the academia.
Could it have been an alias?
Master considered that possibility as well, but the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with a similar research direction or background, but also couldn't find
So
a
he did a
match.
lot. He did a whole hell of a lot.
How is that possible?
Maybe her identity as a researcher from Sumeru was a ruse all along?
It's starting to seem very likely. If we want to figure out her true
Yep.
identity,
Hiding something
I'm
again.
afraid another conversation with those two merchants might be our only.
Hey,
What? No, they're getting attacked too?
then.
That voice, it's...
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirya came back?
But how would he get out this time?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now, we would have seen them.
Let's go inside and check. That's what's so interesting. Like I feel like, you know, there's 3 vision wielders here as well, and Paimon. It would be very, like, strange for them to be able to just, like, slip out past us, right? I'm not saying that, like, his entrance of veins... Wait, does it matter? It's the same?
It's locked?
I'll try to break it open. The door gives way with a bang. You enter the room. What are we gonna see? Oh my god.
Wake up!
What has happened? Did he ingest perfume as well? I'm trying to look for the perfume bottle on the ground, but I can't see it. Is he going to be okay?
Emilie, my brother, he's gonna be okay, right? He's just unconscious. Like what happened to Edgar.
I hope.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain.
What?
We were too late this time.
What? Oh my god, so this is now a murder mystery. This is now a murder mystery.
No, that's not.
Oh no.
That's not possible.
But who could have done this? Collei, and Collei has to freaking see all this as well.
Collei, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge shock. He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him next door? It's not good for him to look at his brother's body like
No,
this.
it's not. It's definitely not.
Of course. Leave it to me.
I'll notify the sheriff. I know some people might say, like, Collei's perfectly capable. Yes, 100%. I know she's tough as nails. We have her on our team. She's so tough. She's so powerful. She's all this stuff, right? It's just that, like, how nasty is it? You have to go on a freaking mission that's just a delivery mission for information, and then this happens right in front of you. Like, not the best start to a day. But Collei's, like, you know, as you can see here, she's so considerate and so capable. I'll notify the sheriff. And in fact, Collei would be upset with me if I was like, you know, if I was like trying to be like too protective, because she kind of would be like, you know, that's her whole thing. She wants to be out there. She wants to be like given more independence and all this stuff. That's her story. This is crazy, man. This is crazy.
Mr. Sylvain, let's get you up. Here, take my hand. Nice and slow.
Very considerate. This just turned into like a way more serious matter. Oh my god.
We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Oh my god, the whimpering. The voice acting's so good, but like it just makes it so much like more heartbreaking.
Poor guy. He's like a shell of his former self.
There's no, Palmy, you're right, there's no laughter, there's no like, you know, suaveness, there's no like confidence at all.
He may have made some bad decisions in life, but right now, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for him.
Paimon, as far as we know, they committed fraud, yeah, which is bad, but like, it's like, you're totally right. It's like, it's okay to feel sorry for someone like that still, like, you know, we felt sorry for many people who have done some bad things in their life.
Good person or bad. The death of a loved one is equally painful.
Yes, I agree. And yeah, like, and by the way, that's not me scolding Paimon. I'm agreeing with Paimon, by the way.
All the moments he shared with his brother, every hardship and triumph they endured together, are now memories he has to carry alone.
Maybe it's what Kirya wanted, but how did Kirya get in and out of here?
If Kirya really was behind this, then what exactly did he do to Lucien?
Lucien can no longer speak, but the traces left behind by his death most certainly can. Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene. I'll leave you to contact the sheriff.
That's fine. That's fine. Like, you're more than capable. Holy hell, this took a turn. This took a whole turn. Sometime passing, Sheriff Sheehan rushes to the scene.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up in the air, and now this happens. Miss Emilie, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor. Have you been able to discover anything?
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I just happen to have some relevant knowledge.
Again, probably underselling herself again.
I did take a look, though.
Just a dead body right in front of us now.
The temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do a more thorough investigation to find out more.
Then, would you mind helping us investigate? Before he left, Tighnari said we could trust your judgment if something like this were to happen.
Of course, I appreciate your trust. Many of the traces left behind at the scene will fade with time, so the sooner we investigate, the better.
The best way to describe Emilie right now is casually, almost like effortlessly is probably a better way to describe it. Effortlessly intelligent, right? Effortlessly considerate, I guess is the word for it as well. But I think effortlessly like adaptable is the best way to put it, actually. Effortlessly adaptable is the way I describe Emilie. Like, it almost like it just comes second nature to her.
We'll help too. We don't know much about dead bodies, but You can leave the other clues.
Can't believe we just have like another murder mystery here. Because you've had them before, obviously, but... So I guess we have to check out, so there's 5 clues. So let's check out the flowers here. And the music is playing again. The corners are filled with flowers from different nations. The fragrance is incredibly strong. Yeah, this incense thing. The incense slowly rising in the air. It seems familiar somehow. Is that the incense they used to either help us or was the one that knocked us out? That, oh my god, the fact that I have to walk past this body that's just dead. The space inside the cabinet is divided into various compartments. It doesn't look like a person could hide in there. So they couldn't hide. This bag is stuffed with clothes. The other necessities is quite heavy. And what else do we have to look at? Would you have to talk to Emilie, maybe?
Pupils are dilated, skin is flushed. No overt external injuries or signs of a struggle.
Maybe the sheriff?
To tell you the truth, the exhibition has left us quite short-handed. We're lucky to have your help.
No, if Tighnari trusts you and Emilie, and already Emily's helped us out quite a bit. I think she's a great character so far. I would help out, no problem. Do we have to enter here, maybe? I can hear faint voices from the other side. Oh man, he's not gonna... How could you get over that?
I'm so sorry for your loss.
And poor Collei has to and it is difficult. Again, Collei is a very considerate person, but to be able to deal with someone who just lost their family member, it takes a lot of strength yourself as well. It takes a lot of strength. Oh, check the exit? Or check the door? The door leads to the hallway. The lock broke when we first went in. This door was probably locked last night.
And the windows are shut tight too. Seems like the only way to get in would have been through Sylvain's.
So maybe we have to explore Sylvain's room as well?
Well, looks like we've investigated as much as we can. Let's go report back to Emilie and Xiao.
This is a great track, by the way.
So, did you find anything?
There are no signs of forced entry. The only way we would have been through Sylvain's room. Yep.
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
Paimon's gonna show it? Oh, well done, Paimon. That's awesome. And it actually, again, I understand people might be like, well, we can understand it, but it's always good to have a diagram in hand just to be like, okay, move from here, move from there.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain... Wait, you don't think Sylvain could have been the one who...
No, his reaction to the loss of his brother
seemed
seemed genuine, and he doesn't have a motive.
I very much agreed that it was a... It's like someone losing all their facade or their confidence or the suspicious nature that he had fell in those moments and it just went to a whimper.
Then what could have happened last
Look at this
night?
shot. Harrowing.
I know Sylvain is still in shock, but he's our only available witness. We have to take his statement.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Also, I've made some new discoveries, so we might as well head next door and go through everything together.
Insane. Right? And we've had murder mysteries before, right? We've had those before. We've had we've had a dude who literally for 20 years was making a bunch of women disappear. You know what I mean? We've had some crazy stuff before, but it's just I didn't expect it to happen here at all. At all.
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to
Well
tell
done,
me
Collei, by the
everything
way.
you and your
Well
brother
done.
did since yesterday afternoon. Did you see or hear anything strange?
After Kirya attacked Edgar, my brother and I were incredibly careful. We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors leading to the hallway. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our rooms. That way, if we heard any commotion coming from the other room, we could help each other.
That actually makes perfect sense. I know that this sounds maybe a bit overprotective here, but with an attacker on the loose, I would have also maybe moved the bed into the other room so they could sleep in the same room. You know what I mean? That would have made sense too. But I guess you're not thinking about that altogether because you think like the locks are enough, or at least left the door open as well, the middle door, something like that. But then again, I think some people like need their own space as well. But
I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise. I woke up this morning, opened the door, and Lucian.
So this was like a proper locked door mystery.
So, no movement from the room next door. No forced entry via Sylvain's room. No signs of a struggle at the scene. And no external injury on Lucian's body. What kind of cause of death are we dealing with here?
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucian's pupils were dilated and his skin was flushed, very similar to Master's symptoms after the attack yesterday. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything. The more plausible explanation is that he inhaled a substance without knowing it, and I'd say that substance was likely Auguste.
Auguste? No, that's not possible. Inhaling Auguste won't kill you. And anyway, it would have been for just one night.
The incense thing. So you're saying prolonged exposure is dangerous? Maybe it was they put in the incense thing?
No, that's not what I meant.
But what do you mean then? I understand you're going through something horrible right now.
Emilie, you ran your tests, didn't you? Go on. Tell everyone whether you found any poison.
No, I didn't find any common toxins.
See? Auguste is harmless. The market response proved that years ago.
That may be true for most
Edgar.
people, but not for everyone.
Master!
Edgar? You're up and about already?
So his constitution must be strong.
Thanks to Emilie, I'm out of the woods for now. Sylvain, no matter how hard you may try to hide it, the truth will always come to light.
Right, so there is something deeper there for sure.
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or 20 years, do you think Kirya would just let us be?
There we go. Okay, so there is something here. Edgar's going to reveal something here as well.
No, he would never give up. Not if he's doing all of this for Yelena.
Yelena? His...
That's Vijava's
right, because
real name.
I was thinking that maybe like it was another name for his sister. Not like another name, but like maybe it was they got the name wrong.
From Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from Snezhnaya.
Oh my god, they're everywhere.
Oh, Fatus.
The Fatui are freaking everywhere. The Fatus are everywhere.
The Fatui. Well, that means the elemental energy present in Auguste was...
Ah, so you've already detected it. Well, Sylvain.
What do they put in it?
Looks like there's truly no reason to hide things now.
Oh.
The Auguste flower was created with the mutative
Oh my god,
and distorting power.
Oh.
Delusion.
That is bad. That is bad.
A delusion?
The Fatui, delusions... I never would have thought Auguste was hiding this many secrets.
That's a big deal though. That's a real big deal. Like this goes beyond like a simple like, to me it goes beyond a simple like not that simple, but a fraud case. That's getting involved in something that you like that any ordinary person doesn't even understand.
Born of a delusion, Auguste contained distorted elemental energy. A prolonged exposure over many years could have a harmful effect on the body.
And we've seen that before. We've seen that what can happen with delusions.
That's enough, Edgar. I'll take it from here.
This is so freaking Obviously, I always think of Tepe, right? I always think of what happened to Tepe as one of the saddest scenes in all of Inazuma. And whenever I hear the word delusion, obviously, we can also think of child as well, and how you're able to, withstand it and stuff like this, but, the ordinary person can't. They just cannot. This just got so much more serious. It's crazy that, in this game, because of the way they set up, delusions and the Vituis and the Vitui in this way, us hearing about, delusions being used for perfume, first of all, of course, it's more shocking than anything we've heard in this chapter so far, but, delusions themselves are scarier than death, seeing a dead body.
At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining the perfume and the flower, but no one knew how long the Perfume Mania was going to last back then. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we postponed going to market was another day of lost earning potential.
Right. But that's kind of I don't know. It should still be safe for everyone.
So you decided poisoning people was worth
Yeah,
the
I agree.
risk?
I agree with Paimon's sentiment.
Listen, it's not like it was good for business. But all that talk about Auguste being harmful over time, Yelena was just speculating. The impact was practically negligible.
There's a frustration in your voice, but she's right. And also it doesn't matter if it's it's just a speculation. I would withhold it from the market before we found out for sure what was happening.
Unless you were particularly sensitive to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar. You could use the product for decades and be completely fine.
But that's the thing. Even if you could use it for decades, right? If you came to somebody and said, "We're going to give you this new kettle, this new electric kettle, and it will boil your tea or boil your water for your tea," and you, and you say to them, "Oh yeah, it's pretty much harmless," and they'll go, "Wait, what do you mean pretty much harmless?" And you say, "Well, after about 30 decades of using it, it might cause some harmful effects to you." Pretty sure people won't buy it. People should be given that choice to know that something will harm them, even after 30 years, even after 40 years. A lot of people, even if they know they won't even have that kettle for 10 years, won't buy it, right? Because no one wants to have that, risk at all.
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poisoning in Fontaine, but even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit knowledge of its harmful effects is still a serious crime.
Yes, and it's freaking just morally wrong. That's a nice death there she has. If the truth came out, the market for your product would be destroyed. The divine and noble Auguste originated from a delusion, yes.
That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kirya's involvement a secret all this time, despite readily confessing to all your financial crimes.
Because there's something you were hiding still. That's dastardly. That's so dastardly.
The Fatui, delusions, Auguste. If the Marechaussee Phantom discovered the connection between the three, there would have been enough evidence to send you to the Fortress of Meripede for life.
Emilie, they'd be gone, and Fatui aren't exactly treated with the utmost respect. Now, in fairness, a Fatui Harbinger did become the top star there, but I'm talking about they're not exactly trusted right away when they go there, and especially if you're working with the Fatui.
If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would have been more than happy to stay there. At least that way, Lucien would still be alive.
Oh my god.
All these years without any sign of Kirya, and he pops up out of nowhere the minute my brother and I get out of prison? It couldn't be any clearer who the kid's after.
See, that's the thing though, it's and that's what makes this story so freaking interesting. Imagine right away when they got out of prison, Kirya was waiting, right?
Auguste was harmless before. The fact that it's killing people all of a sudden must be his doing as well.
So there's bad blood between you.
Very clearly
What
so, yeah.
about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too? A way to destroy evidence?
Please say you didn't kill her.
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point.
Even thinking about it is dirt. It's dirt.
We took care to disguise the product circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake identity. But if the Mara Chaussee Phantom decided to look into the flower beds, it would have been the end. Yelena's ties to the Fatui, the role of the delusion, everything would have been exposed.
This is what's so crazy about this, and like that's why you see the difference between some people who are truly remorseful and people who still like yearn for like that product just being like getting to market. Like the way he's talking does feel like he's talking about like everything being exposed rather than like, you know, there's a, you know, the danger that it could have caused.
Before we could even put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it. She burned all her flower beds and threw herself into the fire as well.
Man, I'm wondering, like, that's such a horrible way to go. Imagine inflicting that on yourself.
But if her goal was to destroy evidence, there would have been no reason to do that to herself.
Yeah, and also, like, it is, like, that just sounds painful. It's not even, there's not an ounce of peacefulness in that.
Yeah, she could have just burned the flower beds and fled with her brother.
Yep.
I thought about it for a long time. But it wasn't until just now that I finally understood her reasoning. Everything she did, it was for her brother, Kirya.
Do you have something to say, Edgar?
One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was the deterioration of Yelena's body due to her excessive use of a delusion. She didn't want her brother to follow in her footsteps after her death. After arriving in Fontaine, Yelena continued using the delusion to cultivate the Auguste flower, weakening her body even further. There were times when she couldn't even walk.
So, like, she, like, even after the defection, she kept using it.
So, she couldn't flee with her brother because she was afraid of holding
That's,
him back.
yeah, when you put it that way, Collei, that's such a horrible way of looking at it, isn't it? But it's accurate and it's sad. It's sad.
If her true identity was exposed, she and her brother would face pressure from both Snezhnaya and Fontaine. The Auguste flower and Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. There would have been no way to avoid suspicion.
Just, it's getting more and more heartbreaking, isn't it? Just more and more horrible to hear.
In the end, she burnt it all to ash, including herself. With all the evidence erased, Kirya was free to take the Mora and run.
You're making it sound like Kirya was like sinister from the start in this sense. Like they clearly ended someone's life, but like, and I think it's more than normal if you think someone's killed your brother, even if you did some bad stuff, to sit there and be like, yeah, they're you know, to not even think about them with any respect, even as if they were a kid, right? But obviously, like, I think, you know, the idea that they were like, you know, he's free to take the Mora and just run. It's like, I think in that sense, it was like, you know, he probably felt some great anguish seeing his sister die as well, and probably did blame you guys well, because like I would blame you guys also. If you guys were thinking of that, that means you had some motive.
So the wealth you earned from Auguste,
Not saying it's right to kill
wasn't
the guy, by the way.
destroyed in the fire. Yelena gave it to her brother?
Most likely. Before Yelena died, she said if anything happened to her, she was going to leave everything to her brother. We just didn't realize she meant our cut as well.
So you didn't get any cash whatsoever from this?
That's why Lucien and I were searching for Kirya, to take back our Mora and the Auguste flower. We just didn't realize Kirya was baiting us the whole time. It was all a trap.
Can I look at this from the perspective of like what he's going to regret for the rest of his life? Can you imagine you get out of prison, you have that rehabilitation, the Fortress of Meripede teaches you whatever you need to know, and they got out of there right away, and they plan to go and find an element of their past and dig it all up again. Like, and I understand from that perspective, it's like money is very powerful, but like, holy hell, man. Like, they had a chance to maybe do something new with their lives. They had a clean slate. No one, and we know with the Fortress of Meripede, after you get out of the Fortress of Meripede, like, you know, and you serve your time, you had the people that might judge you, but like, the fact is, you did serve your time. And in the eyes of Nouvellette and the law and everybody, you have done what you were supposed to do. They could have had a whole new life.
But why is Kirya out for revenge anyway? Doesn't he know about Yelena's decision to sacrifice herself?
I bet he's in pain. I bet he's in like so much pain. Like, holy hell.
I don't think he knew his sister was nearing death. Elena always wore heavy makeup around him to conceal her
Oh my
deteriorating
God.
appearance. She kept herself busy with work to keep out of sight. That way her brother wouldn't notice how she could barely walk.
He like... It sounds very much like that she... Well, of course she was as her brother, but like she adored this boy.
Then all we'll need to do is tell Kirya what really happened, and then he'll give up on his revenge. I'm not so sure.
Collei has some insight?
Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. He might think
Great
Elena was
point.
forced into using a delusion to cultivate Auguste. Or something like that.
Collei's so like smart with this stuff as well, and especially with like, you know, Collei is someone who like went through like a very serious illness as well, and understands as well like, you know, how people might look at you and how like it you know, like I think she can like, obviously Elazar and delusions are completely different, right? They're completely different, but I think like the element of like trying to make yourself look stronger or feel stronger in front of other people so people don't judge you in a different way or some because you don't upset people is definitely like something that she can definitely relate to. But like I think as well with this situation, she's quite right in a lot of ways. Even if Kirya like knew the exact truth of what happened to his sister, there is a chance that, you know, you tried to find the boogeyman, right? And that's like there's a show called Life on Mars, and it's a British show that I like a lot, and it's a very different situation, but like a lot of people just want to get rid of the boogeyman, right? They want to get rid of that one thing that like makes them feel like they've gotten their closure. And sometimes like it might not even be the actual boogeyman, but they want to get rid of that and make them feel it because they feel like it will make them feel slightly safer, better, nicer, or happier. But obviously like it might not work out that way.
It's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred. Especially when you've been living in that headspace for
Oh
so
my
many years.
God. And again, like I'm not being, but Collei knows what it's like to live in a state of like hatred and anger and distrust. If you've ever read the manga, guys, Collei is there, and it's like such a like sad like time, and like how she came out on the other side and is like this is a miracle, and it's an amazing thing that she was able to do this. Because in the Genshin manga, she is like, you know, she is like basically has a protection of a wall up above her, and then Amber obviously brought her out of her shell quite a bit. She knows what it's like to live with that type of disdain.
Very true. Even if Yelena's death
So
was her
emotional,
own
so
choice,
smart by Collei.
I wouldn't call myself innocent either.
Edgar, what are you talking about?
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the Perfume Mania all those years ago, do you think Yelena would have elected to take those risks?
I think Edgar's very mature, and he's thought about this for years. And there is a thing, he probably had the advantage of not thinking about it inside the fortress, you know, but still, like he's thought about this for years, and he's thinking like, yeah, like this is the you know, your actions have consequences. Even if you don't directly impact something, your actions can impact, you know, they have a ripple effect.
If we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation, do you think Yelena's health would have deteriorated as fast as it did? If we hadn't invited the Marechaussee Phantom to our doorstep by breaking the law at every turn, Yelena could have survived.
I think it's like very like true because in terms of ripple effects, right? Again, because like I think sometimes we forget that like, you know, our actions can like affect other things, and it's like, well, I didn't do that, I wasn't the one to do that, but like, yeah, I don't know. That's the way I look at it anyway. Like it's like it's a response that shows it shows decades or at least years and years of inner thought about this is what I'm saying. It shows that he's been thinking about this quite a bit.
She knew her limits.
Stop.
She knew her days were numbered. Maybe it was for her brother, but she was in it for the Mora just as much as us.
Yeah, and I understand, again, it's like he is not in the right space to like think about this rationally either, especially what just happened to his brother.
We were just trying to earn a bit of Mora. And what, we deserve to die for that? Target me for being the mastermind, sure. But what about Lucian? He was just following my orders.
Yeah, and that's why this is such like a complicated and interesting situation here. like I agree that like nobody should have died today, that nobody should have, right? At all. And I think we can all say that very, very clearly, that like, you know, this is a full story that we didn't even expect it to get to this point. It seems like a circle of hatred and disdain and regret and all these feelings, and between Edgar, Sylvain, Lucien, Kirya, it seems like it is just like this point of like bubbling. Everyone's like feeling these feelings, and nothing was ever fixed or made right in the right way.
Lucien's crime,
Like, how could it be?
was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it with his life?
The only person that can answer that question is a judge.
Fine. I've said my piece anyway. Drag me back to Fontaine to stand trial. I don't care.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya, and a crime committed in Port Ormuz.
Yes.
What a headache.
Diplomatic nightmare. What's going to happen?
Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. I'm guessing we'll have to contact Fontaine as well. In any case, we won't really know anything until tomorrow. With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormuz to detain anyone.
Yeah, it sounds like an absolute nightmare with everything going on. And like just like the 3 countries, especially with Snezhnaya, which is a diplomatic nightmare when it comes to like relations with Fontaine. Like, not that like I'm not saying that they're trying to be bad, but like you have to keep those relations good, right?
The hotel could suffice. You could station a few officers to keep an eye on Sylvain and myself. Although with Sylvain's mental state and my physical one, I don't think you need to worry about a jailbreak.
I agree. I don't get the energy of people trying to run right now.
Mr. Edgar,
But I've been wrong before.
You're saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, then I deserve the same fate. A crime is a crime, accomplice or not. I'd just like to take care of a few things before I go. Say goodbye to my plants and all that.
He cares about these plants quite a bit. Yeah, this is like, sorry for being like, I'm feeling very somber, because this just feels like it's a bubbling hatred amongst like this group, and like it feels like Edgar's like, you know, trying to move forward with this, and he wants to get past all of this, and he wants to make everything right. Which is difficult to, again, when someone dies, it's difficult to make anything right, right? That's again from a song, like, how can I make amends when you're not here? You know, it's just the truth. It's the truth. How can I make amends when you're not here? How can I make amends when you are not here? You know, like it fits. It fits perfectly.
As for Sylvain, I'm sure he also has some goodbyes of his own.
Yeah, his brother. It's tough. It's so freaking tough. Like, this situation is a lot.
Would you be willing to grant that request, Sheriff?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the Academia. No matter who you were in Fontaine or what crimes you committed, the man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person. Your request is granted.
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
But wait until tomorrow doesn't mean that something could still happen tonight.
Happen tonight? Oh, you mean the possibility that Kirya might try to finish what he started?
I mean, there's a pattern here. One, like, just the 3 of them. Like, he started with one, got the other one the next time.
All we know is that he uses Auguste to poison people, but we still have no idea how to catch him in the act. If he targets Sylvain or Edgar again, we might not be able to stab him.
Are you thinking of doing like a Halloween 5 situation where we put him in the open and then we kind of like hide or something like that? Maybe with Sylvain?
That may be true, but what if we can take advantage of his desperation?
Desperation?
If we take advantage of this situation and
There we
lure
go, yeah.
him in on purpose, we might finally have the chance to talk to him.
Master, no. That's too dangerous.
So, that's your plan. If Kirya learns we're being taken away tomorrow, his last chance to enact his revenge would be tonight. In other words, you want to use us as bait to
Yep,
capture him.
that's what I was thinking.
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want to talk. What? Are you afraid of him?
Afraid? This is my only chance to make him pay for what he did.
Oh, I don't know if that mindset is gonna work out, Sylvain.
I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. I can't just sit back and let him ride off into the sunset with our fortune.
He's still thinking about the money.
There's no way I'm letting him get away with it. Not after what he did to Lucy.
Man, and like I think it's not even the money anymore. It's more like the money is like he just doesn't want someone else to get away with the money because it feels like then he's won, right? That's what he doesn't want him to feel like.
As for the danger, everyone else just needs to make preparations in advance to protect us.
I'll admit, it could work. We just need to spread the word that Edgar and Sylvain are leaving tomorrow. Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel. If we have your assistance as well, our chance of success would be even higher.
Yep, exactly.
I still have some reservations. But if you insist on carrying out this plan, I won't deny you my
And we can help. 100% we can help.
I'll also keep
Oh,
watch.
Collei.
Although I think Sylvain and myself should remain alone in our respective rooms. If Kirya noticed another person in the room, he might decide to turn back. And besides, it's possible he's already transformed Auguste into a potent toxic gas.
That's gonna be dangerous. So dangerous. This is like really. It's hard for me because like this type of stuff is really cool to me, right? The idea of like a situation where you lure someone into a situation like this, but like it's hard to like feel like good about it just because all the stuff that's happening right now with the history behind it. Like it's hard to feel like excited about this type of stuff, right?
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get his hands on the two of you, he might get so desperate that he'll just start using Auguste on everybody? Hopefully it doesn't come to
If
that.
that were to happen, everyone's standing guard. Even the innocent citizens in Port Ormos would all be in
That
danger.
would be huge. That would be massive.
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
He's not doing good still.
You're still
Yeah.
recovering. You need to rest.
This old pack of bones doesn't bounce back like it used to. I suppose I'll just have to leave the rest to you.
All right, we can figure out a plan to keep watch later. Right now, I say we split up, start spreading that information before it's too late.
So do we have to do that as well? With everyone's help, the news about Auguste as well as Edgar and civilians' impending departure begins to spread. Like, this is such a cool idea for a mission, right? It's such a cool idea for a mission. It's so awesome. I want to make that perfectly clear. Like, it's just hard to, like, fully, like, think of it as just, like, yeah, cool. Because it would be, like, usually it's like, oh, my God, this is so fun. And it probably will be fun. But I think as well...
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained. He's being taken away
It's
tomorrow.
more the idea that, like, you know, there's so much stuff surrounding it that, like, I know the conclusion isn't going to feel that great.
What? He's the one who helped craft all the fragrances for our shop.
I love that we're all spreading the information around. It's so cool they're showing this.
He taught my child how to make perfume. How could this happen?
He hasn't been convicted yet. Let's just wait and see what the court has to say.
Great accent.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about the rumors. No matter where Kirya is hiding, he must have heard them by now. Let's head back to the hotel and take a break. We can see how the other preparations are going while we're at it.
So we have to return to the area near the inn. Okay. Up this way. Yeah, no, this is such a like a great story quest so far. And like for a character for a first time being here, like anytime when we get introduced to a first time character, like they do a really good job of this all the time. You know, because sometimes it's more difficult afterwards when you haven't met a character before the story quest. But I do appreciate what they've done with Emilie so far. She's, as you said, she's effortlessly adaptable. She has a really, really like considerate mind that she has as well. And she's really easy to be around. She has a great voice actor as well, which helps it quite a bit too. She has a really cool hobby that she's interested in, which makes her even more interesting also. But she's also just like a very like, I don't know, how would you say, like a very like, I don't want to say the word like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like respectable, because like, you know, everyone's like respectable in their own way. I feel like that always word that, like, you know, saying someone's not respectable is always a weird thing to say, but more like it's easy to appreciate what she's saying, because I think her words have carried a lot of weight already, and it might be due to the fact that Tighnari was like, yo, she's actually very smart and she's able to do all this stuff, but also at the same time, it could be just the fact that like the writing for her has made her that way also. Her words carry a lot of weight. We listen whenever she speaks. To do that for a character that wasn't in an Archon quest or someone else's story quest or something like that before is always like, it's always a
Xian wants to talk to you and the Traveler about our plans for the Night Watch.
I love Collei. It's always like a big task. It's an uphill battle, always.
Thank you, Collei. But first, here, I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you
You having tea with Emilie?
Oh, that's very kind of you, but I'm okay.
Oh, it's not good to be so tense, especially when we've got a long night ahead of us. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh, she's like...
But I couldn't help but notice that something seems to be on your
She's
mind.
fidgeting.
Was it that obvious?
You seem very preoccupied with Kirya's revenge. If there's anything you want to talk about, I'm happy to
Oh, that might be good as well, to have someone as well that like that she doesn't... Obviously, she can talk to us at all times and Tighnari at all times, but have someone who's kind of outside that inner circle, it might be good.
Oh,
Well, we're here as well anyway.
Hey, Emilie, Collei. Oh, are we interrupting something?
So there's something on Collei's mind.
No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here anyway.
You know what? I was thinking it might be easier for someone, like, you know, just have someone outside the circle for once, but like, that's like the sweetest thing ever. I'm so happy. That's like even better. Thank you.
I've just been thinking. If Kirya has the capacity to commit murder while remaining completely undetected, why didn't he target Sylvain along with Lucien last
Good
night?
question.
There was just a single door separating them. If his intention was to target both brothers, then there was barely anything standing in his way. Don't you think? When I accompanied Sylvain to his room after Lucien died and saw how distraught he was, I suddenly realized maybe Kirya did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the pain of losing a loved one before he completed his ultimate revenge.
That is insane. The concept of like wanting someone to feel something like that as well, like before they die as well.
So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain and Lucien?
Based on what we've heard about Kirya, that may very well be
He wanted him to feel how he felt with his sister. That's... Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's heavy.
Losing his sister all those years ago. What has been going through his head? What has he been forced to endure? Whenever I get to thinking like that, I just can't help but wonder. If I were in his place, would I be able to let go of that hatred?
Collei. And she's thinking about this as well, like, you know, again, because she has so many people she's like grown to love as well in this world in Teyvat.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't think like
No.
that. Not after everything he's done. But I just can't help
No, talk through it. Talk through it, for sure. You did the right thing.
There's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. Empathy is a part of human
Yeah.
nature.
100%.
In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed countless families mourn their loved ones. Their cries of devastation and anger still echo through my mind. Even now, some of them even try to stop me, begging me not to erase
Oh my
the
God.
last remnants of their loved ones. But getting swept up in those emotions will corrupt your judgment.
Can you imagine that image of just like people not even want you to clean up the blood and stuff?
Surround yourself with fragrance for too long, and your sense of smell will become dull. Allow yourself to be consumed by your emotions, and you lose the ability to think rationally. So while you hold on to that sense of empathy, you also need to ask yourself, do Sylvain and Lucien really deserve to die? How much did they truly know about the Fatui and the delusion? Did they force Yelena to make those decisions?
A lot of questions.
Answering those questions requires a lot of time and evidence, while a single act of vengeance can put those answers forever out of our reach. I've witnessed a lot of deaths in Fontaine. When someone dies, a certain amount of information can be inferred from the traces left behind at the scene. But generally speaking, death will just leave most questions unanswered, and the whole picture ever incomplete.
A very like analytical and like almost like scientific way of looking at it as well, right? From the perspective of somebody who does work in that field, in the forensic side of things, I suppose as well. Yeah, I wonder how Collei's going to feel about this.
Once you're consumed by hatred, it will become next to impossible to think about things that way.
Yep,
For
I know, I
someone
agree.
Kirya,
Yep,
I'm sure
100% Collei.
lost all meaning a long time ago.
Yeah, like when you're like blinded by like any type of revenge or hatred, I imagine it is like the situation where like it doesn't matter about like the rights and the wrongs of the courts or the law or the investigations. You just want to get this off your chest and get this off your back.
You're right. The fact that we can approach these questions from this perspective isn't because we're more rational than them. It's because we're fortunate enough not to have suffered that kind of loss.
That's also a very like mature response from Emilie, being like, hey, like we are in a fortunate position where we don't have to think about like revenge right now.
But that also makes us perfectly positioned to stand on the outside and try to pull them back from the brink before it's too late. I understand Kirya's decision, but I still want to stop him. Master, Sylvain, and Kirya. They all deserve to survive.
I think this is like a very like important, but also like I don't want to say maybe like not even mature, but like because like I think it's not immature to have like feelings of great anger and frustration. It happens sometimes, but it's a very like interesting perspective from both sides here, talking out between Emilie and Collei.
The fortunate and the unfortunate.
What's Edgar? Is he listening in? It's a tough conversation to listen to. It is, but it's an important one, I feel like, as well.
Emilie, Traveler. Huh? Edgar, you're here too?
Oh, it's you two. Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for you to be out and about like this?
A little exercise never hurt anyone. Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru, so I'd like to take care of my plants while I still can.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I've grown attached to these flowers, and this is my last chance to say goodbye. Come tomorrow. I'll be happy to entrust their care to you.
So he's obviously accepting what's happening. Obviously, yeah.
I would imagine Sheriff Sham is here for a more important reason.
The Night Watch. You mentioned earlier that we still need to confirm our plans.
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area, but we still don't have anyone standing guard next to Sylvain's room.
You mean in Lucien's room?
Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain has the highest risk of being attacked next.
Oh.
You're the most skilled fighter here, Traveler.
Sure.
And Emilie's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch. That's why I want you two stationed next to Sylvain's room. So, are you up for it?
Let's go. Fine with me, yeah. Fine with me.
Sounds perfectly reasonable. I'll be glad to have your help tonight, Traveler.
It's, yeah, very interesting, the pairings. Collei, are you doing okay, though?
My men and I will be stationed nearby to monitor the situation. A warning will be issued if any unusual activity is detected.
Okay, good.
I'll head into the mountains to keep an eye on everyone coming in and out of the area.
Good.
Just leave the wilderness surveillance to the forest rangers.
Collei, that's so freaking good. You're so smart. She's so smart. You see how smart she is? I know she's smart. Yeah, but you see? Yeah, you said it a million times. Do you see? I definitely see. He bothering you? No, he's just he bothering you? This guy? Oh, sheriff? New sheriff in town, huh? New sheriff in town. Huh? Be a shame. I hear sheriffs go missing all the time. Might not ever see them again. Wow, that's weird about the cannons getting there. Now we're attacking sheriffs. The setting is so pretty as well, by the way, with the yellow lighting through the windows.
Given up on his revenge?
Just like that, yeah, it doesn't make sense. That was just,
Guess we'll have
yeah.
to keep at it.
The night deepens as time passes.
Still nothing unusual. Hyman took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
She hasn't issued a warning either, so nothing's
Perhaps
happening?
Kirya's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crimes.
We're playing the detective music again.
That can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crimes, he could have tipped off the Marechaussee Phantom years ago.
And he already killed one person. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that he would just stop after one person.
There must be something we're missing. Something extremely important.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. How about some tea? That herbal blend from earlier was pretty tasty.
So there's nothing here we can use to make tea?
You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like looking at the flowers.
Is Paimon gonna find something now?
Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Because they only bloom at night.
Flowers, glaze lilies.
Oh, Emily's gonna find out something. Because usually when Paimon does like the stuff where she's like, oh, what if we just do this now? And like usually she uncovers something. So it's actually Emily who might uncover something.
Oh no! Sylvain's room, quick!
What?
Wait, what?
What do you... Emily rushed through the door. A strange floral fragrance touched her, and Sylvain lies unmoving.
Hey, did you hear? Someone was attacked again.
Oh my god, we couldn't even stop it.
It was the older of the merchant brothers, right?
What happened though with the glazed lilies?
I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy was murdered in cold blood.
He's gone as well? We've another murder?
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucian, and now this.
This is serious. It's so serious.
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene. Please, no loitering.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy. What is going on?
Do you think it could be the work of an evil spirit?
I don't think you should go that far just yet, but oh my god. I'm just like kind of stunned into like a bit of a shock here, actually. It happened so suddenly as well.
I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people watching?
Keep it moving, everyone. No loitering.
And that's the thing, we were like in the next room, but I think it must have something to do with the glaze lilies blooming at night. It must have something to do with that. Holy hell. This is a lot, this whole mission. It's more than I thought we would get.
I suppose I'm next.
But how is he going to do it? So maybe moving people out of this hotel might be a good idea?
You don't know that. Kirya already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he doesn't consider your crime to be worthy of death.
Maybe he'll come back and try to finish it?
You were the only reason I managed to survive, Emilie. I never did thank you for that, did I?
Even if I wasn't there, Tighnari was also in the
She
vicinity.
downplays herself a
He would have
lot.
been able to help.
She downplays herself a lot, but it's very clear that like she's not even underestimating herself, but selling herself short.
Is that so? I suppose I'm a very fortunate person then. I have exceptional students, caring friends, and the respect of my peers. If it is indeed my time to go, then I'll die without regret.
Did you guys get that energy through this whole story quest that he really felt like he has come to terms with a lot of stuff?
But Kirya has nothing. Yelena is gone. Now, his enemies are too. It really makes you wonder if there's even a reason to keep on living.
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kirya himself, once we finally catch him.
And Emily's like, yeah, we're catching him. We're catching this guy.
Well, I hope it all goes well. Emilie, there's something else I'd like to ask of you. With everything that's happened, holding the exhibition is off the table now. But so many flowers were transported here for the show. some of them thousands of miles away from their homeland. I can't let them wither away with no one to care for them.
He still has that passion for those flowers.
Whether Kirya gets to me first, or I'm sent back to Fontaine to stand trial, I won't be around to look after
Is he asking Emilie to take care of him?
I know it's a lot to ask, but could I entrust them to your care?
Of course, Master.
Really? Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Now I truly have nothing to worry
Yeah,
about.
it's like this whole freaking story quest has really felt like Edgar's been like, I don't know, like especially after he got attacked and we found out about the murders. I feel like he's almost like come to terms with the idea of going. Like if he dies now, he's probably going to be like accepting it. If he goes to prison, he's accepting it. He really is like just in acceptance mode.
Sheriff Sham still has some questions for me, so I've gotta go.
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. He can be quite impatient.
It's a very interesting dynamic as well.
Sorry, Master.
She knows everything's ending here. If it's and not she doesn't see it as a death, but even if he's going to prison, it's over. You know, especially in his old age as well. What a like broken and horrible situation that everyone caught themselves in. Really just like disappointingly like, you know, unfortunate. There's the bottle. Is that Auguste? Does he have Auguste? Meanwhile in Sylvain's room.
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emily's plan will go well.
Yeah, it's again, it's
But Collei still looks quite worried. Let's go talk to her.
Of course. I think it is this whole story quest really has been like, especially after we found the body, right? It really has felt like it's we're like staying up with them. Like you can tell like they give off this energy of people who are like stressed, who are like in a situation where like we don't know what's gonna happen. They're really doing a good job of making it feel like and they've done most of this like story quest in like if you think of it, they've done most of the story quest in like this short 2 rooms. Like the majority of it has been in these 2 rooms. Yes, we've gotten to go on like trips and go talk to people, but a lot of it has taken place in this vicinity of this hotel. Like that is really impressive and a good way of making it feel very like tense and claustrophobic in some ways too.
Emily still isn't back. I hope she didn't run into any trouble.
She's extremely meticulous. I'm sure she's prepared she's prepared to handle anything that might come her way for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone now too, but I have to admit, I'm not really sure what's
Which
going
information
on.
is this? Is this the information we already talked about, or is it new information?
After listening to Emily's plan, I started getting the materials together and arranging personnel. I barely had a second to spare last night. To be honest, I'm still not sure how the crime was committed that night.
It's pretty simple. It has something to do with the Glazelies, is it?
Clue was right in front of us the entire time.
I feel like we've been waiting to say, what's Detective Paimon? It is Detective Paimon.
Let's go. We'll show you where the culprit hid Auguste.
So was it in, I imagine it was in the Glazelies. To be honest.
I only have a basic idea of what happened, to be honest. I haven't really worked out the details.
Ah, so you're saying I'm the only one who's completely in the dark.
So one of the Glazelies, like, when they bloomed? Is it this room we're going to? Because they're not here, right? No, it's in here. So we just have to point out the Glazelies if they're here. Maybe it's not the Glazelies. Maybe I'm just like it has something to do with them though, because she pointed this out.
Another all-nighter.
Oh wait, we have to like redo the thing. Okay, so they saw that as me going out of the story. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry for interrupting, Clay. It's honestly a sin. Pretend I didn't even interrupt anyone.
Information you requested. After listening to him, to be honest, I'm still not.
The key clue was right in front of us the Let's go. We'll show you where the
It's crazy how like that's like much like wait, so the flowers here? The Glazelies? The corners are filled with flowers from different nations. The fragrance is incredibly strong. Glaze lily is swaying gently, its petals closed. There's a ring of moisture around the rim of the petals that feels sticky to touch. Yeah. When they bloomed in the night, it probably expanded and sent the Auguste around everywhere.
I think I've heard of it before. It's a flower from Liyue, right?
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emilie, you're back.
How'd it go?
Exactly as expected.
Oh, because everything's going good. Everything's going good.
A flower that only blooms at night. Ah, like the Neelip-Pala lotus.
Exactly. Although the Neelip-Pala lotus wouldn't be a good substitute in this scenario. When it's closed, the gaps between the petals are too large.
Right, so it couldn't cold liquid?
That's why Kirya chose the glaze lily as his mechanism. He would start by preparing an Auguste sample.
In order to set a mechanism, he poured it into the flower pot, soaked in the area around the petals, daubed it on the outside of the petals. Let's see.
If applied to the outside,
I love hearing Zach.
you would still be able to smell Auguste, even in the daytime.
So it's not that.
There's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. It's one I recognize.
So soaked the area around, sealed it in its petals, that's what I would say.
The petals together with slime condensate. Then, in the daytime, the glaze lily would act almost like a hidden container.
That's definitely it. Yep, that's it.
That's right. He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to the petals to stick them together and enclosed a sample of Auguste in the center. That way, the Auguste would remain trapped inside during the daytime, unable
It's
to
such a
see
crazy
its
plan. You'd have to have a
and
knowledge of that as well,
into the
right?
air. This also allowed the culprit to plant the poison well in advance, while his targets remained oblivious.
Yep, and they wouldn't even be able to say anything. Like, you know, it's like no one would suspect the flower during a flower festival.
However, the diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glaze lily from opening at night. So by nightfall, the flower would bloom, thereby forcing the target to inhale the Auguste trapped inside.
So crazy. It's so intricate, right?
And Kirya could execute his revenge without having to step foot inside the room during the night.
Which is how he's been like slipping in and out.
By the next morning, the sample of Auguste would have nearly fully evaporated. The glaze lily would have already closed its petals, and any lingering odor would be concealed by the fragrance of the other flowers in the room.
And his mission will be accomplished.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of Auguste is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped inside a flower is enough to kill a grown man? And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole bottle of the stuff?
That's because Auguste is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has never changed. Only a small subset of people are truly at risk.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy. So it's just some sort of happy coincidence that Sylvain and Lucien are allergic to the stuff?
It seems so. Like, and it kind of shows like the effects that this could have on some people as well, right? If they actually let this go to market.
That can't be right. They were involved in the operation all those years ago. If the stuff gave them a bad reaction,
Right.
they would have known from the very
Yes.
start.
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more like they're susceptible to its effects.
Okay.
That distinction isn't
So,
important right now.
So it's not that they're like, you know, they will get affected right away. It's that they could be affected by
You
it.
can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that Kirya found a way to ensure that they would be.
The primordials. Oh no. Oh no. Every time I see it.
Fontaine, I experienced how drinking primordial seawater made me more attuned to the element of hydro. But that substance would be hard to get around here.
I already know the incense.
The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar.
It's the one that we.
Thinking back on it.
Holy hell.
Spirit Borneal.
Did they called back all the way to the start of our journey in Sumeru.
In Sumeru, scholars use Spirit Borneal to aid meditation and stimulate their connection to the Dendro Archon.
Insane. Insane.
Chemically
What a
produced
callback.
essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine not too long ago. All of those are substances that can heighten your sensitivity to elemental energy.
And Kirya chose Spirit Borneal. The thing that affected us the first time we came here. That is an insane callback. That was so long ago. We went to Sumeru so long ago.
Ah, yes. I definitely remember that.
Well, not even that. In fairness, it was what? Like, it was like July? Maybe?
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so its presence wouldn't arouse suspicion.
Right.
The flowers in the room could also serve to mask the scent.
It's such an intricate plan. And then also the dude, like, Edgar has his own Auguste there as well. So obviously it's easier to get. Or are they saying that he has something to do with this as well?
Flowers were pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liwa. It would be completely unnatural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition. What a coincidence.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the hotel.
Yeah.
He probably used the mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed to set him free.
So I think it's like the idea that like it would be that he like specifically rented it. Is that what they're saying?
In the end, it was just a tool for his
Right,
revenge.
okay.
There's a saying among forensic doctors in Fontaine. Every step you take leaves a mark. But up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Kirya's activities. That's not because he was coming and going undetected, or because he's some kind of
I actually
evil
love
spirit,
listening to Emilie when she explains all this stuff.
but because he's been disguised as someone else this entire time.
Wait, what? It's Edgar. He rented out this whole place.
Such an intricate mechanism out of a glaze lily.
Yeah, that's what the Auguste was, yeah.
Corneal in advance. And arranging for Sylvain and Lucien to stay at the hotel.
Without us, and it's impossible for us to stay there too with all the flowers too.
Points to one person. The expert in charge of the entire exhibition.
So that's what the Auguste was. We had a little bit of suspicions there. That's what the Auguste was about.
The mora spent to rent out the hotel. The way the Auguste flower was cultivated. The method used to disguise his appearance.
Wait.
It all points to one person. The boy who inherited Yelena's legacy. Her younger brother.
Wait, so do you want me to associate both of these together? And we say... Interpret again.
Creating such an Creating such
We want to associate this.
Creating it all. Kirya and Edgar are one and the same.
Wait, so they're... I was just thinking that he was actually the real murderer for some reason. Wait, what?
Kirya was only in his teens back then. He wouldn't even be 40 years old by now.
What is happening? Did the delusions make him older like it did with Tepe? Remember Tepe had like...
Edgar's lived here for so many years. Even if he changed his appearance, going that long without giving
Could that be
anything away,
what happened?
It would be impossible.
No way.
Bad news, Sheriff. Mr. Edgar was attacked.
Okay, what is happening?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. It was giving off a really ominous
A
aura.
dark shadow-like figure.
But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of
What is
ghost or something. By the time we got a look inside the room, Mr. Edgar was gone.
Oh my god. So as soon as we saw that Auguste bottle, we kind of had our suspicions there, right? But like something is definitely happening.
Kirya kidnapped him?
No.
I need you to think very carefully about this. Are you certain that figure wasn't
That's the
Edgar
question.
himself?
Such a good question.
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail.
Wait.
I don't see how he could have moved that fast.
I was thinking it's delusions. Could it be a disguise?
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised source of power.
What? But that's so dangerous with the condition he's in. It's...
Wait, did he use the delusion now? It's suicide. Yeah.
But why? Why would he do that? He's already accomplished his revenge.
Did he use a delusion to escape?
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had a hand in Yelena's death,
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to see him suffer, but to confirm the truth about why Elena
This
chose
is a
to die,
mind blow. Like, just the way it's happening, right? Because, like, we suspected Edgar, but it's like just the way this is unfolding.
Then there's still one target left.
Who? Who's the other target?
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
This is making me so freaking nervous.
Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchants nearby.
Sure, but like, oh my god, like the way this is being revealed, I did not expect this, right?
Ghost! It's a ghost!
A ghost?
It's all right. Please calm down and take a deep breath.
So people did see something like that, so it is like a true on-tap power.
I saw a black shadow. It ran right past me.
Everyone's terrified. Everyone's freaking...
How could something like that happen in broad daylight?
Everyone's so terrified. What the hell? This is... With this music in the background, like the normal, like, Porto Almost music.
This is terrifying.
Don't come here. Everyone's so in, like, shock. Oh my god. And they left Porto Almost. But to where?
If we go any further, we'll be out of Port Ormos. There'll be hardly any.
And everyone came along as well.
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff.
Oh,
of
fantastic.
something. I would say he passed by this location not too long ago. It's this way. Please, follow me.
So he's not gone too far. Man, this is like... Because I think that, like, I thought that the conclusion would be that we were going to have, like, we were going to see Kirya, you know, like, her little brother. And, like, we were going to have probably fight it out or have a conversation about it. But it's actually, like, ended up, like in a place that I didn't think we could end up in. Like, I thought that, like, when we saw, like, genuinely, I think you guys realize as well, probably as well, like, when we saw the Auguste on his counter, we're like, okay, he's probably has something to do with it. Maybe he's in on him with the little brother or something like that. But the idea that he is him, this is such a crazy mystery to end up on. Is this gonna be a domain? I think so. Oh my god, it's gonna be a domain.
The scent is getting stronger. This must be the place.
The secret garden. We're going to a secret garden? Yeah, we'll go with this team.
Oh,
What does it look like? Show me it. It looks like an inner working of Sumeru, yeah.
were you attacked?
No, I'm all right. I was just chasing after that figure, and then all of a sudden, I didn't feel so hot.
Why is that?
Let me take a look.
Is something affecting him as well? Maybe like because we've seen a lot of stuff just affect people like and make them sick in this episode.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, it's hard to breathe.
Oh, and Paimon got affected by the pollen. So there's a lot of pollen?
This feeling, I've encountered it before.
Or incense?
Everything looks all right. It was probably just the stress of the chase, combined with the impact of the environment. A bit of rest would do.
Okay, level-headed Emilie here.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in there. He taught my sister how to make perfume. He's a good man. I can't just abandon him to die by Kirya's hand.
Oz, you need to calm down and listen to me. Edgar is
Oh my god, this is gonna break so many people's hearts.
Kirya are the same person.
But how is that possible? I thought you said Kirya was in his 30s. Mr. Edgar is 70-something. Changing your appearance to look decades older, that doesn't seem possible.
That's precisely why he had to resort to
Yes, I was thinking.
to age himself.
Yep, just like what happened to Tepe. A delusion.
Kirya used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process, just like his older sister.
That is insane that this whole time her little brother's been with us and he used the delusion to age himself. It wasn't a disguise, it was literally like an aging property, like the delusion, like what it does to people.
No. He couldn't have. Mr. Edgar has been in Port Ormos for years. If someone started impersonating him all of a sudden, we would have noticed.
And what if the impersonation started before he ever set
Dear
foot in
Christ. Oh my god. He's been doing it for that long?
I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kirya killed the real Edgar in Fontaine not long
Wait.
after his release from prison.
So Emilie's master all this time was Kirya as well?
While Edgar was incarcerated, Kirya started making preparations to replace him, including forcefully aging his body, studying perfumery, and planning the real Edgar's demise.
That's insane. That's such a crazy, like, situation. This guy that everyone respected and known was not him at all.
The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. He even left perfume making in favor of mentoring students. But these decisions were all for a specific purpose: the need to distance himself from anyone who might see through the facade.
This is such a crazy plan. And it makes sense why he left for Sumeru, so no one would know him. Yeah, that's what Emilie's saying, like.
And Sumeru fit the bill to a T, with no one around to question his identity. All he had to do was grow a beard, don a pair of glasses, make a
Dear
few minor
Lord.
alterations to his appearance, and everyone would believe he was exactly who he claimed: Edgar, a perfumer from Fontaine.
How are you feeling about this, Emilie?
As the years went by, he removed his disguise little by little and continued to refine his skills. It would have been a gradual process, one that ensured no one around him would notice anything unusual.
She's so smart, and again, like we said, so adaptable, so like good at explaining this stuff as well. But still, like emotionally, I'm just wondering how this is going for her.
That explains why Sylvain said he barely recognized Edgar back at the hotel.
It's all, I love that when Genshin does this, everything falls into place.
He aged himself decades beyond his years just so he could accomplish his revenge. Is that even worth it?
To with the actions that they've made, it's clear that to them, this is worth it.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that kind of person. He can't be.
What you really need is to get out of here and rest.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it shows the respect they had for this guy. And he was planning this all along. This was his plan. To get away from it. Like, it's...
No, I can keep going.
Wait, this environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, no matter how slight,
Yes.
should not be treated like
100%. 100% get out of
I know
here.
how to relieve your symptoms, Mr. Ooze. Please come
Oh,
with me
Collei, you
next.
sweetheart.
I'm sure Kirya... No, Edgar wouldn't want any more innocent people.
And I truly
implicated
believe
in
that
all
as well,
this.
because there's no way you can fake the connections that he's had with the people in Port Ormos, right? There's no way you could fake the connections that he's had with Emilie. Like, that would be difficult. For all those years. Now, it's possible, but, like, I'd like to believe that, like, deep down, he still had, like, these not that he, like, you know, what he's doing is crazy, but I'd like to believe he still had these connections with people.
Collei's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. From our brief exposure to Auguste, it would seem the substance has little effect on us.
Which is good.
This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision or capable of wielding elemental power are more resistant to the effects of abnormal elemental energy. In other words, this environment doesn't pose as much of a risk to us.
So it's vision wielders. So if people, yeah, vision or capable wielding elemental power, yeah, that makes sense.
Actually, now that I think about it, this stronghold likely has multiple points of entry. If the target were to escape from a different point of entry, that might allow him to evade capture. I hate to trouble you, but we need people to survey the perimeter.
See what I mean? This, I mean, so effortlessly adaptable in every situation.
Thanks. Hear that? We're heading out. There's work to be done. Ooze, head back to Port Ormos and start gathering reinforcements.
Got
And I love that they have a character here that's like not even just Emilie, someone who's like, man, I respect this guy so much, this can't be.
Traveler, Emilie, Paimon, please be
Collei,
careful.
you be careful, okay?
For someone whose only purpose in life is revenge, There's no telling what they'll do when there's no reason to move forward.
And we know as well with Collei, right? Like, she, like, 100% had, like, every reason to get revenge on people. Every reason. She was destroyed. She was poisoned. Not even poisoned. She was treated so freaking poorly. We saw those scenes in the manga. Out of any character, like, she definitely, like, would be the one who would, like, want to think about revenge.
Don't worry. This isn't the end. Not for us or for Kirya. We're not going to let Auguste kill anyone else. It's time for the mythos to fade into obscurity.
Oh my god. Emily's taking this so well, and we're looking... Oh, we're playing as Emilie! Yeah. The shoes are amazing. Yeah, no, it's so... Having Collei come along for this journey gives such a great perspective on this as well. So what's the... Spear user, okay. Oh, nice! Hold on. That's a cool move. The third move, she swaps the hands. It's very cool. Her charge is very interesting. Look at the way the... That's really good. It's very elegant. Look at this one. Yeah, it's very elegant. And this is... Seems like it's an AoE Dendro thing. We'll see how it goes. Beautiful music here as well. And they're giving us enemies right away.
Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
It is an AoE. That's a really good AoE Dendro move, though. Right? That's... Holy hell! Okay. Just like she has for most of the whole thing. She's picking up 80% of the slack.
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff.
There we go. Yeah, we have none of these. That's really cool AoE, by the way. Really cool. More powerful than I even thought she would be. Oh man, when we see these spaces in Sumeru, it's always so magical to me. Like, it really just like I always talk about like Sumeru as like, it almost feels like a fairy tale sometimes, and it really does.
Oh, look at all the Auguste flowers.
There's so many.
There are so many of them. I can't believe a single person did
Yeah.
all this. Must have taken a lot of time.
Like, gone from extinct at the start of this to like having this much like of a source.
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion comes at a cost. Not just time, but the time you have left to live.
Exactly, yeah. It look at like again we think of Tepe, how Tepe was you know, probably happy that they were so powerful for a bit, but it was one of the most short-lived experiences that you could ever have.
But why would Kirya need this many Auguste flowers? He only needed a few bottles of Auguste to carry out his plan, right?
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion fueling his obsession with Auguste.
What do you mean?
Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers transported to Sumeru to
Such a
wither
beautiful
away
shot.
in foreign land. But Kirya betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life in Sumeru under the guise of someone else. For someone with nowhere to call home, perhaps dying among a bed of Auguste flowers just like his sister is the best homecoming he could ask for.
Do you think he came here to die? Like, that's what, because he knows he doesn't have a lot of time left? Instead, like, so maybe he did accept his death and accepted that things were going to end, but maybe he's accepting it in a way that's like he'll end up here. This is such a beautiful place. So gorgeous. Let's keep it going. Yeah, no, I'm mesmerized by how much like they've like just made like again, they're good at doing this. They did it with like, you know, Heizo, they did it with so many characters that we just met. I really like Emilie. I really do. Like, and she's really enjoyable to be around. I feel like I want her to like, you know, I would love to have Emilie beside me during like any lore quests so she can just like explain absolutely everything. I think she would do a good job of it. And great voice as well. So let's do this thing again, which I can't get over. I cannot get over how freaking crazy this is.
I'm going in. You two, time to end.
I just wanted to do it, guys. So this is her move.
This will brighten up the place.
We've probably seen that before, I'd say. But that looks so freaking cool. And like, it's, again, like, it's an incense thing, right? Like, it's almost with a flower in the middle. Yeah, I really like Emilie. Quite a bit. Where do we have to push you to? Here, go this way. Go here. Through here? Where do you want to go? Oh, through here, but we have to like direct you in a way that's not through the spotlights? Because this is gorgeous, though. What are these flowers even? I thought they were like spotlights, but they're actual flowers. This is such a pretty place. Let's take a look at this now. Look at that. The colors, the vibrancy. And it's actually, there's no roof on this place. It's not a cave. I adore this character, man. Like, I've grown to like enjoy their company so much. Like, I wouldn't mind, like, honestly, though, like, I feel like
The flowers is getting stronger.
there's a lot of them.
At the end.
It's unfair to say, because I feel like I say that about every character. Give me another story quest. It's not really, like, a praise at this point, is it? Look at them. Oh, he's aging rapidly with the delusions. He literally came here to die in the same way his sister did. No, obviously not burning, but, like, amongst the flowers.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger.
He heard us. What a good way of doing that.
Did they catch up that fast?
Yeah. Caught your scent.
No. My strength is just waning.
Yeah, that's the power. That's what delusions do to people who can't handle them.
But it doesn't matter. This is far enough.
Is that the Auguste? Holy hell. And he knows what he's doing. No. Is this when it happened? Oh, he was so young. He looks completely different. It's unfair, isn't it? It's unfair.
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those
Is he
years
seeing
ago
this
in
now as like a
Fontaine.
vision? The flames are moving in the story thing as well.
Yelena?
His sister. What are they doing with this?
Yelena! You tried to hide it from me.
Oh no.
I always understood. The reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on fire, it was all because
It was
of
to
me.
protect him.
I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. The flowers were gone. And so were you.
This music as well. This is like... This whole quest has taken a turn. And that we say that about so many of the story quests now. They're so good at like starting you one place and never knowing where you're going to end up. And look at what I'm looking at right now. This is heartbreaking.
I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have come looking for you earlier. I should have...
No, she didn't want that. And obviously she shouldn't have to die either. But she did not want that. At all. Oh my god.
Yelena?
Pushing... What?
Yelena!
It's because she doesn't want you to be there. She doesn't... Oh my god. She doesn't want you to be there.
No. Don't leave me. Please.
No, it's not her saying she doesn't want... She would want to be with you. But she did... The reason she saved you in the first place is that you wouldn't be caught up in this. Jesus, man. What they've been able to do with this quest is... a lot.
Yelena!
Is this a glitch? It wasn't. Okay, it was just loading. Okay. That was... And again, that's what it means. Her pushing him away, which is such a beautiful moment, isn't her saying, I don't want to be around you. It's that it's not your time. Or she doesn't want you to die. Maybe it's not your time. It's like she never wanted you to follow this path. She never wanted you to die with her. That was the whole point.
Emilie?
This is so much. It's a lot.
I'm alive. No, that's not possible. I saw her, Helena. We were together.
Yeah, but he probably doesn't realize that the reason why, again, I keep saying it, but like, that's what the imagery was trying to tell us.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin in your body coupled with the pollen in the air, neither of which are fatal.
No, the amount of Auguste I
This
drank,
is...
It should have been enough.
I'm sorry to say this was a fake, but isn't that... Like, I know, guys, I need to make it clear, I know he's killed people, but it's hard for me not to look at someone who was desperately trying to end their life. And now they're upset that they didn't get to do it. Like, that makes me feel so, like, sick almost. It's hard to even listen to. That was a fake.
A fake? But how?
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind. To create a perfect accord.
So rough.
The accord is the basis of perfume making. The product in its most
primitive
Wait.
Ambergris.
Is this him teaching her?
Rounded out with a base note of
I heard a little girl's voice. Baby Emily's adorable. She was also fancy.
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential
They're actually
oils
showing
from
this.
ether, but by combining other
Oh.
raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Look at her. She was like so like fancy even then.
Recreate any scent in the whole
This is gorgeous. These stories are always gorgeous.
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world.
This is what I'm saying. Oh my god, he meant this. You can tell he cared about her. Look at her. Oh my god.
Is what draws people in and fuels their
She's
obsessions.
adorable.
If I wear Auguste to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It's everyone talking about the perfumes. The music's so stunning.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed. Miracles can be
Gorgeous. Oh my god.
All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is
Look at
hidden.
her, man. Look at what she became as well.
Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
She's so smart. Oh my god, look at them.
through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining
Wait.
heat and moisture.
Oh my god.
Perfumes are as beautiful as
All the
flowers
little like pieces to put coming together.
as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all
So
that?
all of it's been pieced together. Look at her.
I got it.
She used her life lessons. Everyone came together with information. Everyone knew this. They followed this thread. And she swapped them. And she knew from that point. She's so smart.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
And she knew from here?
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste.
Oh, he's not
and lied
dead.
to me about Sylvain's death.
So he's alive. So that was the plan. Oh my freaking god. I didn't even pick up that part. It was switched entirely from that point on. So Emilie, I need Emilie on my crew all the freaking time. I need her with me all the time with these quests. That is incredible. And I love the way they showed the little threads as well. They showed like Tighnari's like information he gave us, the information that Paimon realized as well. I saw a bunch of flowers and all this, like it's all pieced together, and then Emilie figuring that out and swapping it before Sylvain's death. She realized all the way back then, but she was carrying out this plan. So impressive. So impressive.
That your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to get you.
Makes
to
perfect sense. And did you see you as a little baby? A little fancy baby? That baby knew how to use her knife and fork, you could tell. Oh my god.
Impossible. Even if you found a way to switch out the bottles, there's no way you could have made an accord. If Auguste was so easy to replicate, Yelena wouldn't have.
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias.
Whoa, okay.
Those ingredients would have conflicted with each other if you tried to combine them in the past.
But something's changed?
But recently, we found a way for them to work together.
It's just literally modern, like, understanding. That's how this stuff works over time.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias.
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it, never stopped trying to recreate it. Perfumery techniques are advancing day by day. We've found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We even discovered new ways to combine fragrances together.
Yeah, I love that, like, it's like, you taught her well. Like, that's the thing. Like, you taught her well, and then, like, the modern way of looking at things then, like, takes over as well.
The mythos surrounding Auguste may have been untouchable almost 20 years ago, but now it's time for it to become a thing of the past.
And as she said, she's going to get rid of the myth, dispel the myth.
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord, even if only in theory. But the meaning you assigned to Auguste became so inflated,
This
you
split
allowed
screen here.
yourself to get lost in it. Just like the Perfume Mania that captivated the public all those
So
years
he
ago.
believed that he knew, like, he should have known that there was a way to make an accord, but because he got so caught up in that mania, he just, like, believed the hype. I let himself believe the hype.
In its divinity
Yeah.
and grandeur. You believed it was
So pretty.
entirely one of a kind.
And in from the start, we talked about the Perfume Mania, and he got caught up in that as well. It's nothing but a bottle of perfume.
Your obsession with Auguste is also what allowed us to predict how you intended your plan to end and to make preparations in advance.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Or did we activate the delusion? He was moving. There was a lot of acceptance of death there.
Well, you hit the nail on the head.
I'm giving credit to Emilie. Yeah, everyone else helped, but, like, Emilie is fantastic.
So, Sylvain isn't dead. Since you've been preparing your accord since last night, I assume you've also figured out my method, then. That means the news of Sylvain's death. The crowd gathered outside the hotel this morning. It was all an act you put on with
Yeah,
the
no, she's
sheriff.
fantastic. She's like a detective herself.
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation or continued to use your Spirit Borneal and Auguste combination to wreak havoc.
Who knows? Maybe I would have just offed myself then and there.
I know everything that happened to who he killed. Like, he killed that guy, right? I don't care. It just still is not easy to hear anyone talk about this, and especially with everything that he went through in his life, all the hardships, the mental anguish. Like, it's so horrible to hear anyone go through this type of stuff.
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the truth of Edgar's demise and the secrets of this garden to the grave, but I'm sorry, Master. I don't want to see any more death.
And that's fair. That's fair from Emilie, more than fair.
Sylvain only inhaled a small amount of poison. He's being detained as we speak. All the crimes he concealed back then will be exposed in a court of law for everyone to
Yep,
see.
and rightly so.
And all his...
Sorry, I trigger happy again, guys. Sorry about that.
Well, I suppose I'll be spending the rest of my days in a prison cell then.
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I think when you're ready to accept death sometime... Well, no, I think in a way that it's obviously very different, right? Like, but I think that, like, a lot of his, like, he's... I don't even know if I want to describe it because it's such, like, a very touchy situation, right? Because death in prison is two different things. It's so different. So I wonder, like, if he's just ready to accept to go to prison because he realized no one's going to let him die, and that Emilie actually does, like, care enough but to not see any more death. And so he's like, well, look, I'll accept this aspect then.
I don't feel the need to justify my actions, nor do I intend to repent for them.
Okay.
I did what I set out to do. I may have lost in the end, but it was my choice every step of the way. And if I could do it all over
This
again...
kind of hurts because it's like, I understand, yeah, he's in a very, like, he's not in the right mental state at all. At all. But his sister, the reason why he saw his sister pushing away, because deep down he knows his sister would not have wanted this.
But there's no going
His
back.
sister would have told him to stop right away.
Careful, everyone. This environment is dangerous.
And there's Collei.
Away.
Stick close.
I love the way they do the kind of fading voices.
Looks like I'm almost out of time. Although, I do have one final question, Emilie.
Of course, Master.
And she's still saying master. Because again, that's why I wanted it to happen. I wanted the connection to be still real. I wanted at least that.
The combination you used to make your accord. How did you figure it out?
The scent of Auguste is complex and varied, yet the main ingredient consists of a single variety of flower. So, as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got to thinking, what if the scent of the Auguste flower was already imbued with that complexity during its cultivation?
You're saying Yelena designed Auguste to have the scent of multiple flowers?
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, Cecilias. The perfumers of the past knew that if you combined their essential oils directly, they would just cancel each other out. It was a conundrum they could never solve.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into this, and I'm glad that like they're like explaining this. But like I think to these two, this is like what I love about it is that these two, this is like the epitome of like their life's work, you know?
But if you cultivate a new flower species that intrinsically carries the unique features of those three scents, you can bypass that issue entirely. It goes without saying that for that time, this idea was a stroke of genius.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias.
He seems proud.
Those really do seem like flowers you would
He seems
choose.
very proud.
Yelena.
And there they are. It's over. It's almost like when they entered the frame, like the last goodbye that they were good. Not maybe not the last. You might see him in like or at some point, but like it really feels like the last goodbye, right? Not long after that, the Eremites rush over. Kirya accepts his fate without saying a word. Wow. Yeah, like I said it like there's so many very like it's a very unforgiving subject. This is a mess, and I don't mean to make it sound like, you know, the idea of like wanting to end your own life as like, oh, that's messy, you know what I mean? I feel like it's a really not a nice way to put it, but I'm saying it more in the sense of like how all the deaths that were happening, the original deaths, the fraud, all of the stuff. It, as I said, it really felt like it was a bubbling cauldron of disdain, hatred, regret, all these feelings. But I'm glad one of the true feelings and one of the true happy feelings that came out of this, at the very, very least, is that the connection that was had on this story, August finally comes to an end. Sorry, the connection that was had, or we're back here, Fontaine, between Emilie and her master, felt real, and you could sense a pride at the very end, at the very least, with that stuff. Oh, so much. It's crazy.
Did you know? Miss Emily's releasing a new perfume.
All right.
Right. I heard about that. I think it's called Yelena.
Whoa. I was like literally like, oh my god, like I'm more like shocked that I am like in tears, and then this happens. Holy hell. The tears welled up instantly. That's so beautiful.
Seems like like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're releasing.
That's stunning. I have grown to adore this character so quickly.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss, but the news spread way faster than I expected. I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth, especially after all the work we did to demystify Auguste.
Yeah, and that's what she doesn't want. She wants it just to be any other perfume. About this perfume, did you use an accord back from in Sumeru?
I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more pleasant and long-lasting. I actually brought a few samples with me today. I hope they're to your liking. Also, I was hoping you could try out the fragrance before I officially release it and tell me your thoughts.
I would love that. I would love that.
Of course! A good sense of taste and smell go hand in hand, you know? Just leave it
Yes!
to her.
The way she popped up as well. Paimon is like a cartoon character. She's the best. Oh, Paimon.
Oh, it smells great.
I'm not sure that's the kind of feedback she had in mind. No, it's good feedback. It's perfect.
It's all right. All feedback
It's
is worth
perfect.
considering. Besides, when it comes to perfume, commenting on whether it smells good is the most straightforward assessment
Yeah,
you can ask for.
and that's what she wants.
There doesn't always have to be a deeper meaning.
Speaking of deeper meanings, Kirya's final question.
Right. Do those flowers have some special
Kirya's.
meaning? Hearing their names seemed to have an effect.
And he said that there was one you choose.
If I had to guess, I'd say it probably has something to do with the language
Oh, we've
of
heard about this
flowers.
before. Remember when Lindy tried to riz us up?
The language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before. Paimon remembers hearing something like, the Cecilia represents the true feelings of the prodigal
Paimon, that's
son.
so smart. That's so smart to remember
What
that.
each flower is said to represent varies by person and across different moments in history. The same is true for the flowers that make up the scent of Auguste. After returning to Fontaine, I did some research, and it turns out the meanings of those 3 flowers can be reassembled to form a
Okay,
single
bring it on.
phrase.
Bring it on.
Forget the past and keep on living.
Wow. And that represents Collei as well, right? Although she shouldn't have to forget the past, but like she has like kept on living. Again, like we said, she could have had more reason to like try and enact revenge on people than most people. But she's not even thinking about enacting revenge on the people that harmed her, or that tried to harm her.
Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always intended, not the nobility and grandeur most people associate with Auguste.
Or maybe that's what she hoped for her brother. Yes, like that as well. I know like I'm so focused on Collei, but that is also the case as well. Because the reason why she pushed him away is because I don't want you to die here. I never wanted you to die. I wanted you to move on without me. That's what she wanted.
You think Kirya knew about that?
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained what I found, but he didn't seem to care. Who knows? Maybe she didn't mean anything by it at all. That was
I don't
his
know.
response.
I think he maybe he's trying to hide his feelings in that a little bit.
Yelena is gone. We'll never know what she was
He's in
thinking.
trial.
We can look for meaning all we want, but it'll never be anything but conjecture.
But that vision you had, you know how she felt.
Even if that is what she was trying to say, I would never be able to forget her. Avenging her death? That was the meaning I chose for my life.
And he's saying like, this is what I chose. And he would have chose the same thing again, he said.
Kirya cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed to making it bloom, even if in the end, it didn't bear the fruit he was hoping for.
Kirya.
In any case, he did want me to pass along his thanks. Thank you for saving my life.
Oh.
For giving me the chance to learn that Auguste could have carried a very different meaning.
That just means a lot. And again, like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna try and justify anything. I'm just saying how I feel. Someone who told me that they were gonna be like they were trying to take their own lives in a way that they thought that their sister would want as well, and ends up thanking them for having a life is amazing.
Love and hatred are a privilege of the
Yes.
living. When someone dies, their thoughts, feelings, and intentions die with them. In that sense, what Auguste truly represents in the language of flowers will forever remain a mystery. But even if it's only a conjecture, I would like to believe my own interpretation. The meaning we give to flowers, the symbolism we assign to our perfumes, they're constantly twisted and exploited in our imperfect world. And yet, at the very outset, they're born from the simplest and most beautiful desires we hold in our heart.
And having the perfume bottle in the background. That's it. I feel like every time the story quest ends, I'm like, I want a bit more. But like, that's the, that's the way things go. Oh, and they put me down here because they're like, you're not going to talk to her again, man. This is I hope that's not the last time we see Emilie. And we got the Elena perfume. Is she gone? Sorry, she left hours ago, yeah. No, she was over here, right? Yeah, she's gone. That was a crazy quest. And there was a lot to it, and there was a lot of, like you said, the word harrowing comes up quite a bit in Genshin nowadays, because again, it's such a, people don't want to talk about it, like, or not people don't want to talk about it, I feel like people don't talk about it a lot because it's just so natural. There's like there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of, like, horrible things happening all the time. It's not like, again, anyone from the outside who thinks that this is just some, like gacha game with some, like, pretty characters, like, you're 5% right. You know what I mean? Because, yes, you're 100% right that it is a gacha game with some pretty characters, but it's also a game that has some of the most impactful, horrifying, in-depth, disgusting, dark, beautiful, like, so many, like, of those words used to describe how amazing the stories can be in these games, and they just get, they never stop being amazing, they never stop amazing me, and I really feel that way. When it comes to these quests. This was a quest to me about not forgiving, because forgiving is like a completely different thing. I don't think forgiveness was a big thing in this. I think it was forgetting. Or moving on should be a big example. I think that's why they brought Collei into this as well, someone who had to move on from an incredibly harrowing and horrible past. Someone who has every right to every day to be angry and curse the heavens and curse the gods and sit there and be angry all the time. If Collei was the angriest character in this game, would any of us blame her? No, I wouldn't. I would not blame her at all. In fact, I'd help her be angry. You know what I mean? But I also think that, like, it's so, and that's probably a bad thing to say, but, like, you know what I mean? It's just really great that they brought her into this as well, because it makes perfect sense. What happened here was a character of a story. It was a story of a character, of a guy who put so much emphasis on the importance of the past, to the point that, like, when his sister died, the last thing that she was working on became, like, the myth of this Auguste became so important to him that it was more important than anything in the world. And his revenge, like as Emilie was saying, was going to happen no matter what. And it's kind of like this thing. I personally think that if we look at 1,000 ways that this kind of gone, I really feel like there's only like a couple of those ways where he wouldn't have ended up, like after his sister died, I should say, because if his sister survived, he wouldn't have ended up in this situation. His sister dying and ending up in this situation really led him to be in this situation as well. That's what happened. I think that this is a story of someone who misinterpreted, or not even misinterpreted, but like saw his path and felt that was the right path he wanted to go down, but the person that he was actually going down that path for, the revenge path, didn't want him there. And now I feel like he's even like, to kind of make himself probably like still feel like intact, he's even now saying we don't know how she feels, which I think I understand what he's saying in a way that, like, it's all conjecture. You can't really speak for someone who's gone. But I go to some wild places when I'm doing these ending parts, don't I? I'm behind this house now. I feel like what we're seeing here is like, it's hard to accept it, because then you have to like realize that your whole life's goal was a lie. His sister pushed him away in that vision because she didn't want that for him anymore. And Emilie here had this connection with this man, and what she wanted was just no more deaths. She didn't want this story to continue, because if he dies, Lucien dies, Sylvain dies. Not only will the mythos of the Auguste continue, because now it's like, oh, this Auguste, what can it do? Oh, we're never going to find it. It's still extinct, but it brings on a different meaning. It's now a perfume that's not just a perfume, which is what it should be. It's just another perfume. It's now a whole story of death and suffering and regret and all these feelings. It really is that way at the end of the day. And while he did some horrible stuff, I'm glad that he chose not to take his life in the end. I really am. I'm so happy that he chose not to do that in the end. It's horrible that we were talking to someone, and when he thanked us for his life in the end, that means so much. But he did that, right? Like, sorry, Emilie did, I should say. But like in the end, there's plenty of ways that you could, end your life, and I think he wanted to do it in a way that was very like poetic. But again, his sister pushed him away. She didn't want that for him. In terms of Emilie's character and her place in the story, I really feel like it is someone who is very grounded and, as we said, very adaptable, and sometimes analytical, but also very like caring at the same time. She's very straightforward with the way she does things, but she's also very smart, and like she can really ascertain a lot of stuff that's happening around her without even like having to work too hard for that. It feels like it just comes natural to her. I really feel as though she was seeing this whole situation, the way she figured stuff out in the end, as just a way to like, honor the way she was taught, right? Like it's to make her teachings be something that is not like, I guess like not the way she sees perfumes, right? Perfumes are something that like, aren't something to be crazy about. They aren't something to be upselled. They're not something that are like, that's otherworldly or like mythical in a lot of ways. To her, it's just another perfume, but they can make you feel different ways. They can. And I think that she definitely didn't want that to be, not besmirched, but like, I think it's something that is important to her as well. Yeah, I really liked her character. I thought the story was really great. I really did. And I think that it's in terms of its like relation to other stories, obviously it felt very different from other stories just because it's this character that's not in Archon Quest. Whenever we have a character that's not in the Archon Quest, it really does feel like we're it's not a rate, but it's like it's an uphill battle always with anything like that to introduce a character, show you who they are, show you their story, show you their emotions within 3 hours. And what we got here from Emilie was just that. We got a character that was shown off in 3 hours. And now we appreciate them so freaking much. They sell themselves short, but I think they do that like, just because they truly believe like that, I don't think they're even trying to be modest. They just truly believe that maybe the stuff they're doing isn't that important, but they've shown here like that they're like so freaking good at what they do. I really enjoyed being around Emilie. I wanted to get the exact thing she said at the end. And, she was talking about how like flowers have meanings and flowers have these, but like a lot of people, like just like the perfume, can twist it to be something that it's not. And in a lot of ways, like, your interpretation and your way you view the world can be twisted in that way too. But sometimes people try to find deeper meanings in things. Like they try to find a deeper meaning in the meaning of like a flower, or the meaning of why somebody died, or what their sacrifice is. When in some ways it's just like that. It's just another perfume bottle. It's just another flower. And in some cases it's like you dying isn't going to prove anything. It isn't going to have some deeper meaning in some way. Even though like it would mean something to everyone else around you. No one wants to see you die. But you don't need to die to just prove something or to make it like poetic. Because in the end, we know that's not what his sister would have wanted as well. But I love the idea of like how Emilie's so like she loves the beauty of how it can make someone feel, but knows that people can twist meanings to their own like ideals as well. A really cool story quest. I love the mystery aspect of it as well. I loved how they revealed everything at the end. I thought they did a really fantastic job with this story quest, and I feel like I've analyzed it even more than maybe like I should, but I really enjoyed it quite a bit. But for now, I can say I want to say thank you to the Never Can I Pay the Baby Gangsta tier on Patreon. That being Tyfire 2, Jamie Bull, Janet the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicius Felix, Ewald, Radish, and Nusta, Death Trap, Lynx Markey, Assassin, Jared Beanham, Ruben Meja, Eopsy, Alpaca Juice, and True Peanut Butter, and new patron who already was a patron for a very long time, but upped their Patreon pledge, Peter Shelson. Thank you so much for all of your continued support on this channel. You really do keep all these series going, and you're going to be keeping this going for as long as we like are doing Genshin, and that's going to be for a very, very long time to come. Let's do the thing, but with Tighnari this time. Thank you so much for all your support, everyone. Let's see. We shouldn't have held down. Sorry, Tighnari. It's my fault. I love that she kicks it. Show no more. Oh, look at her with the angry face.